way for the broadcast of the documentary Beauty and the Bester, which was in court this morning. And South Sudan's first Vice President, Riek Machar, has been charged with murder, treason and crimes against humanity in a move that some fear could reignite the country's civil war. Justice Minister Joseph Gang Akech says the charges relate to an attack in March by a militia allegedly linked to the vice president. The roads leading to his house in the capital, Juba, have been blocked with tanks and soldiers. Forces loyal to Machar fought a 5-year civil war against those backing President Salva Kiir until a 2018 peace deal ending the fighting in the world's newest country. The 2018 peace deal ended the conflict that had killed nearly 400,000 people. However, the relationship between Machar and Kiir has become increasingly strained amid ethnic tensions and sporadic violence. Gold is trading at $3,649.80 an ounce. The rand is at 17.35 to the dollar, 23.53 to the pound, 20.35 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $66.04 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 North. This is between the Flying Saucer interchange and Atterbury Road due to peak time pressure while traveling in Midrand. We've got an accident reported on the N1 South that happened after New Road. It's causing delays.
A partly cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 29 and 30 degrees. The breaking story in EWN this hour. The Pretoria High Court has struck a bid by Bester and Nandipa off the roll, making a leeway for the broadcast of the documentary Beauty and the Bester.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
You're with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Let's walk the talk. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7 and 106 FM.
Seven minutes after 9 o'clock. Dumelang. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Clement Manyathela Show. It's so wonderful to have you with us here on 702. How's your Friday going? How was your week? I hope it wasn't that bad. In fact, take comfort in that it's gonna get better tomorrow. You know why? Because Pirates is going to make history tomorrow by winning the MTN 8 for their, wait for it, 4th time. It's the MTN 8 final tomorrow in Mbombela. The best team in the country, Pirates, is going to be playing Stellenbosch in the final. In fact, tomorrow's game is actually a repeat of last year's final, which Pirates won 3-1 against Stellies. And we're going to do it again tomorrow. I actually had a dream, guys. Let me tell you quickly about this dream I had last night. I had a dream which actually concerned me. In the dream, I was playing professional rugby. so listen to this, ne? I was playing professional rugby in the dream. But for some reason, there were pole. What do you call them, the pole, when you're playing soccer? Soccer goal nets. Is it soccer? Is it nets like where you score? The poles? I think it's soccer goal nets. Is that what they call them? So, but I'm playing professional rugby, and yet we've got these soccer goal nets, and that's how we were scoring. So we would play rugby, and as soon as we get to the goal nets, then we kick the ball into the nets. And I had 2 opportunities to score, and I failed dismally. And I remember waking up so disappointed from that dream last night, and I thought, could this be a message about tomorrow? I hope not. Or at the very least, I hope it's a prophetic message for Stellies, not for Pirates. But let's wait and see How do you see things going tomorrow? Because I think we're going to win. I'm giving it like 2-1. I think we're going to win 2-1 against Stellies. I think it's going to be a bit tough because Stellenbosch wants revenge, especially because last year's win was so controversial. But I think we're ready for them. What do you think? 011-883-0702. That's the number to dial. Let me know your thoughts on the WhatsApp line on 072-702-1702. It's Friday, and you know what we do every Friday? We do Gratitude Friday. This is where you can call us and tell us what you are grateful for this week. What happened this week that put a smile on your face? We want to celebrate with you. I always love it when, as a family, we celebrate each other's wins, whether big or small. Please tell us what you're celebrating this week so we can celebrate with you. What are you grateful for? Call us or send us a WhatsApp voice note right now. As you've just heard on Eyewitness News, the urgent application by Dr. Nandipha to interdict the airing of this Netflix documentary, Beauty and the Bester, has been struck off the roll with costs. So what that means is that this Beauty and Bester documentary is actually going to air on Netflix at, I think, 9 a.m. It's probably available already for you right now. By the way, did you see Thabo Bester's lawyer in court yesterday trying to argue for Netflix not to air this documentary? Did you hear some of the arguments that he made? What's his name again? Yeah.
There is this statement that he escaped. My lady, there are many ways to come out of prison, which it should be proved in trial court. There are many ways. We don't know if he got a parole. We don't know if there are many ways to be released out of prison. It's not always an escape. I am saying presumably he got a parole that will be proved in a trial court. It's not always a case that he escaped. And you know, something interesting that we need to address, my lady, to say this documentary is about prison escape. If really is about prison escape, I'm expecting Ananias Mate in it. I'm expecting there was another one who escaped, Moses something. There are many people who have been escaping in prison, especially here in Pretoria. There are many. I represented some who escaped from prison here. I expect them in this documentary. So to show that it's not about escape of prison, why is it not encapsulating all the escapees? And why am I saying this documentary is still about Mr. Bester? Because they say the beauty and the Bester. Who is Bester? Is Thabo Bester. Now we know the phrase Beauty and the Beast from one of the old movies. Now the Beast no longer exists. Who exists? The Beast has been replaced by Bester. So it means that in the nearer future we are likely to have a situation whereby when kids are, as we knew in the literature of English ourselves, who grew up during that time, they will say the beauty and the Bester, meaning that the beast has been replaced by a certain individual. Now we have a beast in person and personified into the person of Thabo Bester. So then this documentary, from its naming angle and perspective, it has already brought what we call a serious defamation to the person of Thabo Bester. And we cannot sit and keep quiet when Thabo Bester, who is my client and the applicant in this matter, is being termed or rather narrated as the beast. Because that's what the documentary suggests.
Okay. Aba, thank you. I think we can stop it there because, wow. I think apparently that's Advocate Mo Africa Maila. Okay, at 10 o'clock, we're going to do the Across the Desk feature. And today I'm hosting people who have had successful IVF journeys. Did you know that roughly 1 in every 6 couples in this country are affected by infertility? Right? When natural conception doesn't occur after 12 consecutive months of trying, many couples are now turning to assisted reproductive technologies, with in vitro fertilization being a central option. But also it can be really exhausting. It can really be financially draining as well. There are access barriers that are real for many people. So today I'm going to be joined by people who have successfully embarked on this journey. And I want to know if you have tried IVF. Has it been successful? Has it not? What was your journey like? I want you to share your stories at 10 o'clock. At 11 o'clock, we're going to do our relationship and sex feature. And this is adult radio. So no kids are allowed at 11 o'clock. We're going to be discussing what's often referred to as the post-nut clarity or guilt, right? That sense of mental clarity that some men experience and some women, but mostly men, from what we have seen, men experience following sexual release, like, right, following an orgasm. Like, have you ever felt shame or guilt after an orgasm where you don't even want to stay for the whole night, or shame or guilt after self-pleasuring yourself, whatever your scenario may be? Is post-nut clarity even a thing? And is it something that only men experience, or women experience that too? Because a lot of men do. So we're going to be talking about that at 11 o'clock. That's the show coming up over the next 3 hours.
Clement Manyathela, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856
92.7
and 106 FM.
Shotlem. Our winner, brag. Ire winner, fourth time in a row. Ire winner this one. KG here.
Good morning, Clement. Pat here from Spayview. Wow, what a weird dream. Anyway, dreams do come true. Okay. So it's a sign that Pirates is going to lose.
In your dreams.
That's it.
In
Sorry,
your
bad
dreams.
news, eh?
Good morning, Clement. Danny here from Midrand. My brother, ke kgopela fela o no prepare some ice cream and some tissues for emotional control. I don't think Pirates is going to win tomorrow, my friend. Otlaba strong. But look, through all challenges, we'll be here to encourage you and support you. Don't throw in the towel. It's just not going to be your day tomorrow.
Morning, Clemmy. Forget it tomorrow, man. Sorry for what happened for the team. But tomorrow, Stellies are taking it, bro. You know, you are limping. Mandla from Josie.
Mandla, please, man. Also, where are my Pirates fans? Like, you guys are going to let me be attacked like this? Yeah? You're going to let people say these nasty things about our team? Come on. Where are you? Yeah? Nati, you're calling from Soweto. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement. How are you?
Eitzara.
Before I go on, did you hear that lawyer Yamavani says calling the judge my leader?
No, I didn't hear that. You're lying, Nati.
I'm telling you. I was listening to it. I was like, oh,
my leader.
He said, relax, my leader. I'm kidding. I was like, this guy.
That's hectic.
That's very hectic. Clement, on the real serious business of the day. Orlando Pirates Football Club tomorrow won't be making any history. They are going to lose.
Why do you believe that?
We can't afford to have noisy neighbors like Orlando Pirates. We can't afford. We are happy in Soweto. We are cruising nicely, but we don't want anything that has to go with Orlando Pirates winning. Wow. Orlando Pirates doesn't have to win tomorrow, and we know Stellies. We trust them. We're supporting them. We are behind them as a nation. You know,
as a nation,
silence those ones. Yeah.
Kanti Nati, why are you guys like this? When Kaizer Chiefs play, we wish you guys well. Like,
we
you
don't
guys
need your support. You see, our problem started when we played our first game in 2010 in Orlando Stadium. That's when our problem just started. We suffered from then. So we now know that anything that has to do with Orlando Pirates, we must stay very far from it.
Because you guys are threatened.
Orlando Pirates fans, stay there. Don't support us.
Well, guess what? There's a sold-out stadium in Bombela tomorrow, and I can't wait for Monday's show, actually. Like, I can't wait. And Nati, I hope you'll call in. In fact, we'll save your number. I will call you on Monday when I start the show. Moeletsi, you're in Davidton. Good morning.
Clement, how are you?
Hey, Tzara.
You guys seem to be talking about the wrong club here, man.
Mm-hmm.
We don't talk about Orlando Pirates. We talk about Orlando All-Stars, eh? Yeah. Number two, how many times has Sundowns won the league? About 8-7, eh?
Which team?
Sundowns.
How many times they've won the MTN 8?
the league, Sundowns.
Oh, yeah.
About 8 or 7
Thereabout,
times.
thereabout.
Yeah, but then it's a God-given thing. They're going to win the league 10 times. Pirates going to win MTN 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
Forget about those who are talking. Forget about them. Basadlala bao. Boanili. Basadlala. Re ba emetse le bona. Sharp Clement.
Sure. Moeletsi, yeah, let's pray hard. In fact, you know what I was listening to this morning as I was coming to work? I know for some reason, like, I had hymns like on my mind this morning. And maybe in hindsight now, I'm like, oh, this was probably in preparation for this game tomorrow. Do you still listen to hymns? Like, I don't know what it is in Xhosa or in Zulu, but hymns. One of the things I enjoy when I go to particularly the Bryanston Methodist Church is because they sing these hymns. Anyway, on my way to work this morning, I was actually listening to the hymns, and I don't know if you still listen to them and if they still move you. But remember, Barorisi ba Morena, for instance, those are the hymns and the songs and the groups we grew up listening to. And for some reason, that was on my mind this morning, and I thought I should take you back a little bit. And now in hindsight, now that we're talking about Pirates, I actually think this is preparation for tomorrow. You know, I needed a song that sort of cancels my terrible dream, which could be prophetic, and sort of chart a new path for the Buccaneers tomorrow.
Hi, Clement. Oh my goodness. You just took me and my mother like down the memory lane. I remember I was about maybe 9, 10, even younger. She would take us to a village. We used to have a gospel choir. They used to sing this song. Oh my goodness. Thank you.
I'm glad. A lot of people are saying this takes them back. Figo says, "Oh man, Clement just took me back and reminded me of my dad who is now late and he loved Barorisi Bamorena. Thank you." And then another one says, "Clement, thank you for playing Barorisi. You brought back memories of my late sister. Thank you very much." So interesting that a lot of people are reminded of their loved ones that have passed when you play a song like this, eh? But what a way to start a Friday morning.
Morning, Clement. I just hope you'll have a song on Monday to console yourself with, because wow. And we are not attacking you. We're just telling you what we see in Jay. Parents must just forget about tomorrow. And Monday, uskatla ukwatile ne utle uthabile ka yona tsela e o thabileng ka yona tsatsing lena. Jane from Sebokeng.
I'm gonna take it off if we lose. I'm gonna be sick.
Your voice,
Your station.
your open line
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
on 702.
Good morning, Clement Manyathela. I'm always listening to you, but every time I can't get through to you guys. I just want your gratitude on Friday. I'd like to congratulate my son who is going to wear his red gown. Dr. Oahemujise. He's going to wear his gown of PhD. I'm so grateful and happy.
No, that's beautiful. All the best. Hey, some people are weird. Tula on Twitter says, "Clement, hymns and posts nothing like a Friday with you." Pirates better win because we want 30 minutes open line on Monday. Yeah, we're starting with hymns and then later on, Ziawa. Lulama, you calling from Winchester Hills. Good morning.
Hey, Clem. Good morning.
Hey.
Please bear with me on this thankful Friday.
Yeah.
You're playing us Omohau Wamodimo by Barorisi Bamorena. Also taking me way back to my childhood and teenagehood. Above all, Clem, thank you for reviving the spirit, Saga Sedi, Madia, among us. And may I please dedicate this song, this hymn, to Sedi Madia, and thanks to you and your team, Umohau Amadimo. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lulama, in Winchester Hills. It's now going up to 29 minutes now, after 9 o'clock.
Your voice,
Your station.
your open line
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
on 702.
Dumela, Clement. Yo, Clement, you made my day. You made my day with Barorisi Bamorena. You know, back then I had every single album of them. I bought every single CD. Oh, I love those people. Barorisi Bamorena. Oh, hey, Clement, you made my day. I'll be thrilled the whole day. What in Jimiston?
Oh, Clement, you just took me back. I think Barorisi Bamorena. It was those days when we used to have our sisters and brothers, Black Aufela. They used to come out saying that they are going to the choir. Yeah, man, yeah. What a tune.
What a tune. It's 9:30. Let's get the latest in Eyewitness News headlines. Maybe what I'll do is play some. Maybe I should get in some Xhosa or Zulu hymn as well, Or does anybody know also of the Tsonga hymn? Or I want to try and remind as many of you as possible out there of these old, impactful, heartfelt songs. So if someone knows also of a Tsonga one, let me know. I'll see if we can find it on the system. I'll try find a Zulu or Xhosa one as well, trying to be representative. Sfiso, good morning.
Thanks, Clement. Good morning. An urgent application by Bester and Nandipa to stop the screening of a Netflix documentary about them has been struck off the roll with costs. Judge Sulet Potriel delivered the judgment a short while ago, making leeway for the release of the documentary this morning. Bester and Magudumana were challenging the release, arguing that the production should be aired only after the trial against them. A serial rapist has been arrested after his reign of terror of 17 years in Gauteng and the Northwest. The 41-year-old man was handcuffed in Diepkloof, Soweto on Wednesday this week. A collaborative effort between national and provincial officers led to his arrest after years of investigations. And some taxi drivers in the Johannesburg CBD say that the reopening of Lilian Ngoyi Street will make daily peak traffic commute much easier again. The busy street was opened to traffic this morning after a 2-year closure. Taxi operators had to use alternative routes during the closure while construction teams completed repairs. And those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 10 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Well, if you're traveling in Bedfordview, we've got a major accident seen on the R24 West. It happened near the Kaluli's interchange. Delays coming from Edenville Road. There's also queuing traffic, in fact, bumper-to-bumper traffic on the R24 coming out of Edenville Road and the N12 West. If you are traveling on the Golden Highway in the Freedom Park area, do expect delays between the N1 and Union Avenue. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 North in the city of Tshwane due to an accident seen right near Rigel Avenue. Delays coming out of the Flying Saucer interchange. More updates at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Africa Milani.
Weekday mornings,
4 to 6.
We have over 700 new Metro Police officers who will be graduating, and many of those will be deployed to, in fact, 5, I think, on average per ward, to work alongside the SAPS in order to obviously fight social ills.
We are always striving for working together with various law enforcement agencies, and that is why we signed the cooperation agreement last year already. We will bring our resources. Let us join hands together.
Brigadier Atlenda Mate, national spokesperson for the South African Policing Services.
Africa Milani.
4 to 6 on 702.
It's time to eat, dance, and celebrate. The DSTV Delicious Festival, powered by Lotto Star, is serving up 2 days of world-class entertainment from international acts to South Africa's finest artists, alongside culinary masterpieces from the best local chefs. So, browse fashion and art, take part in live cooking demos, and soak up the festival's electric atmosphere. Saturday, the 20th of September, is for you and your crew, and Sunday, the 21st of September, is for the family picnic vibes. DSTV is turning 30, and you're invited to the party. 1 ticket, endless experiences. Tickets at Ticketmaster. More on deliciousfestival.com.
What do partners of the Gates Foundation do when facing the world's toughest challenges? They keep going. From discovering a plastic drape that helps detect excessive postpartum bleeding faster, to developing better bed nets to kill malaria-carrying mosquitoes, to researching an RSV vaccine that could save hundreds of thousands of children. For every problem, there are people who prove that progress is possible. The Gates Foundation, partners of human potential. Learn more at gatesfoundation.org/keep going.
Be in it to win it by playing Powerball and Powerball Plus for a life-changing 124 million rand in total estimated jackpots this Friday. That's right. Play Powerball for an estimated 64 million rand and Powerball Plus for an estimated 60 million rand today. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529# for USSD. Panda, Pusha, play. Players must be 18 years old or play responsibly. E2 is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
Running a business is tough. You need tools that just work. That's why more South African businesses are switching to Mac. At iStore, we make it easy with 4,000 rands in added value when you switch. That's 3 years extended warranty and remote tech support, leaving you to focus on everything else. Switch to Mac with iStore, your expert partner. T's and C's apply. Mac at iStore runs smooth as business should.
Your voice,
Your station.
your open line
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
on 702.
25 minutes before 10 o'clock. This is the 702 open line. I'm asking what you are grateful for this week. We do Gratitude Friday every single Friday on the show, on the open line. I've asked you about Pirates and the history we're just about to make tomorrow with the MTN 8 finals. We are going to beat Stellies just like we did last year and win our fourth MTN 8 title. And of course, news that broke earlier on is that that urgent application by Dr. Nandipha to interdict the airing of the Netflix documentary Beauty and the Bester has been struck off the roll with costs. And after listening to their lawyer, I'm sure you're not surprised, are you?
Hi Clement. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. This is Busiso from the Val. Hey, yeah, this advocate is, yeah, I don't know. He's unprofessional. Or he didn't know exactly what he wanted to say. Yeah, but I think because of an escape, it's when you define an escape, in the meaning of escape in prison, it's that it's you escaping illegally or in an unofficial way. So that's an escape. So I don't know what he's trying to say. I think he was not prepared, very well prepared. But yeah, what can we say? Instead, he should have said that we are here not to deal with the escape case, but the main focus of us being here is us dealing with the Beauty and the Beast, for them to stop it from being broadcast today. But yeah, what can you say? Professionals sometimes are very unprofessional, very unprepared. That's embarrassing. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Clement. As far as I can assess, Thabo Bester wrote his argument. All what the advocate did was to read it out loud to the court and maybe just add there and there. But everything, shows that it was written by Thabo Bester. I might be wrong, but all the signs are there. Listen, the way he was, reading it, he was actually saying, I. And I really suspect that it's Thabo Bester's writing. He's practicing law, the latest.
And also with Thabo Bester, anything is possible.
Your voice,
Your station.
your open line
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
on 702.
Tabiso, you calling from Polokwane, Tobel?
Clement, maybe one day you must bring Mr. Midupi of Barorisi. Quite a very remarkable
I should,
person.
hey?
You should, yeah, no. Quite a very remarkable
We'll do it,
person.
we'll do it.
And he still sings even now with that voice that you'll probably grew up, listening to it through Clap and Tap and all of that. Quite a very remarkable man, actually. But you just said Pirates is the biggest team in the country. It's the biggest team in the country. I was just laughing. Lamin is having a great Friday today.
I'm just being honest, Tabis.
Because no team is playing over this weekend. you are alone with the Stellies, so you are enjoying.
We're the last
cloud.
man standing.
I don't know. That competition of 8 teams, it's nothing. You'll be angry on Monday. Your supporters will be saying the coach must go. They're very impatient.
Never.
They're very impatient. But of course, that because we are playing with Stellenbosch, we'll definitely support Stellenbosch. They need to win something. We can't support you. It's a historical issue, Clement. You are our neighbors, you are our uncles and all of that, but we can't support you. We believe that Stellenbosch is going to show you fire. We'll meet again on Monday and reflect about these things. For sure, you'll have a better Safela on Monday from Amadodan. You know the Amadodan.
I've got them here. I've got them here as well. Yeah, Tabiso, let's see. But look, we've never needed like your guys' support. Like we are where we are now because we've had each other and we've had a great team and we've really had a coach that's done well. Ribeiro has really pushed us. So yeah, we're good. So you can keep the support. We'll be fine. And yeah, meet you on Monday.
Clement, your dream and Sifila say they actually align. Pirates tomorrow is going to lose and Stellis will be singing Umuhau Wamodim. Thank you, Clement. Have a nice day. Mahlodi.
Your voice,
Your station.
your open line
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
on 702.
Okay, thank you to all of you that have come to help me understand what Sifila, Difila, and hymns are in isiXhosa. I'm told that in isiXhosa, it's ngena culo. Ngena culo or ngena culo? Culo. Ngena culo. And in Zulu, it's amahubo. I'm told that in Venda, it's parapara. Really? In Venda? Hymns? Is that what pala hymns are in Venda? The palapara. And then in Chitsonga, it's what is it in Chitsonga? In Chitsonga, it's mala mala. Am I getting it right? Someone who speaks Chitsonga, mala mala. Okay. Here's another mala mala. Let's take you to maybe KZN now. Or is it Eastern Cape, Abel? Let's hear.
So when ungumhlo Clement, the one for Malamala, that's not Malamala in Sitsonga. In Sitsonga, it's Tinsimu, Lesha Isitsonga, Clement, not Malamala, Tinsimu.
Tinsimo. Okay, Tinsimo. Okay, got it. Not Mala Mala. But someone on Twitter was saying, no, it is Mala Mala, but you have to pronounce the H. Okay, Tinsimo. All right. I got it. Lerato, you calling us from Alberton. What are you grateful for this week?
Ooh, Clement, you just got me so emotional.
Oh.
My grandmother, she's 81 years old. She's currently in hospital. And yesterday, just before her procedure, my mom and I came to the hospital. And as we were sitting there waiting for her to be wheeled off, her people from the Methodist Church of South Africa, Abu Mama Bumtandaso, they came just before she was wheeled in, just to pray for her. And you playing the hymn was just so significant. And you even mentioning the Bryanston Methodist Church, you know, it just gave me that confidence to call through, just to say, Abu Mama Bumtandazo Izolo. And I'm so grateful for that. You know, she successfully, the procedure was done, and you know, I'm currently in hospital now, waiting for her. And I just wanted to share that her hymn, yase iculo lakhe lasesontweni is Xhosa 224, which is unabantu bakho Thixo. And I think even the one that you've played, just to say, you know, uJesu umhlobo wethu, it's something that she resonates with. She's been, you know, involved in the church for the longest time. So I think, I don't know, it's just poetic that as I was driving to the hospital, you playing the hymns and having this conversation, I thought I should just share that I'm very grateful for my grandmother's life and for also her people who in her time of need thought to come, because we hadn't told anybody. And my grandmother said, but for some reason, I don't know who made the call, and we were not expecting them, and just seeing them in the uniform made me and my mom very, very emotional. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks to you. Thank you for warming our hearts this morning, and I'm happy to hear that your grandmother had a successful surgery at the age of 81. And I can only imagine how stressful that must have been for you and your mom and the rest of the family. So, yeah, thank you very much. And I believe that there's a reason that we actually are playing these hymns that we may not know. But there are other people out there that get impacted. And that's how I believe God actually works. Thank you for that call, Lerato. It's going up to 11 minutes before 10.
702 Afternoons
with Relebohile Maboja, 1 to 3 p.m.
We are talking about respecting the dead, speaking ill of the dead. Why do we do it? It's a big why. Tembi in Benoni.
Because they get to a point where I'm parked on the side of the road on the Entle because they call it unlegal.
Oh, babes.
Unlegal, because make it make sense to me. You're saying now it's about you, and then next minute you're saying it's not about you. You must come to the funeral and explain to the people that this person was abusing me. She has said a mouthful. For her not being there, it's a mouthful. And she respected him enough to plan the funeral.
I mean,
can you right to say the abuser always wants to dictate how the victim must react? Where was the family when this woman was crying? We must stop this thing.
702 Afternoons
with Relebohile Maboja.
Let's walk the talk.
This weekend, fun is in full bloom at the Spring Playground at Melrose Arch. From 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., kids can enjoy the Spring Playground on the Piazza in collaboration with Clamber Club, from obstacle courses, a jumping castle, and a giant board games to face painting and trampoline bungee for children over 5. Tickets can be booked on the Piazza, and for the adults, there is going to be toe tapping, live entertainment on the square from 1 to 3 p.m. So book a table and soak up the sunshine.
Meet Uminatsi Nyaba, a powerhouse storyteller and actor graduate who earned her Bachelor of Arts in Motion Picture cum laude. From a young age, Uminatsi knew that storytelling was her calling, but financial hurdles nearly dimmed her dream. That all changed when she received the Hollywood Foundation's Future is Bright bursary. It lifted a huge weight off her shoulders and gave her the freedom to focus fully on her craft. She began making bold moves and creating incredible work, including her award-winning short film, which was selected for international screenings. Thanks to the Hollywood Foundation, Uminati is ready to tell the stories the world needs to hear. Follow the Hollywood Foundation social pages for more stories of stars on the rise. Sizofunda sonke.
Let's count backward. 5. Insurance. 4. Pineapple. 3. Insurance. 2. Pineapple. 1. You're under. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
Your voice,
Your station.
your open line
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
on 702.
8 minutes before 10 o'clock.
Good morning to you, Clement. I am so grateful to the fact that my time is not God's time. God's time is not my time. I am so proud to say a sister of mine whom we're not seeing eye to eye with for decades, we are reconciled, we are one, we are happier. And tomorrow a family is coming to celebrate our reconciliation. That is what I'm most grateful for. Thank you
that's
ever so
amazing.
much, Clement.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Good morning, Clement. This is Mapula from Pretoria. I'm just grateful for Mohaua Mudimo. For 28 years ago, on this day, God gifted me with a son after trying for so long. Happy birthday, Neo. Mama loves you.
Oh, happy birthday now. Happy birthday now. In fact, here's a dedication for you. Nontsikelelo says, Clement, thank you for uplifting our spirits this morning. I was really feeling down. That's Gogo Hlobo. I've got someone here, Kano says, Clement, I'm so grateful for the gift of life, and thank you for these songs. They've just given us hope. A lot of you are reminded of the times when you went to church with your grandparents, eh? Someone says, Clement, my grandmother used to take us to Kwatema with her to the Anglican church there with Father Bukaba as a stalwart in that community in the early 80s. Like Archbishop Tutu, Easter was a huge celebration with songs like these, and still I don't even understand a word to this day. Yeah, that's Bani in Brakpan, but for some reason they touch me. Yeah, hey, that's the thing about hymns.
702 delivers
on the matters that matter to you.
My name is Sipati. I'm from Boxbeck. What I love about 702 is that it exposes us to the global community. So at the moment, if you are locally in South Africa or Africa, you get exposed to the US, the UK, because of the international exposures that we have. So thank you very much, 702, for exposing some of us who have never been out there in the world, but we see the global world, the global community through your eyes. Thank you, 702. Big ups.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts,
so we can deliver more on what matters to you.
702 listens.
Let's walk the talk.
At the heart of global conversations shaping the future, Africa's voice matters more than ever. As Africa's largest bank by assets and lead sponsor of the B20 Summit, Standard Bank Group is proud to spotlight the continent's growth, partnerships, and potential on the world stage through informed dialogue and powerful partnerships. Standard Bank is driving sustainable growth where it matters most. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
In ancient Corinth, as Alexander the Great approached the philosopher Diogenes and offered to grant him any wish, Diogenes simply replied, "Stand a little out of my sun." At Plus 94 Research, we believe in illuminating the path to informed decisions. By removing the shadows of uncertainty, we let the light of data-driven insights shine through. Don't let assumptions cloud your vision. Step into the light of clarity. Plus 94 Research, the science of decision-making.
Backed by popular demand, legendary jazz icon Kenny G will be performing at the Super Bowl at Sun City on Friday, the 3rd of October. Get ready for an unforgettable night of timeless hits and pure musical magic. Get your tickets from webtickets.co.za. Brought to you by Breakout Events and 702.
Your voice,
your station,
your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
It is going up to 10 o'clock. Just after 10 o'clock, we're going to do our Across the Desk feature. And today, I want to hear from some of you that have had journeys with IVF. I'm going to be hosting people who have had successful IVF journeys. And maybe yours wasn't. I really would like you to call us and share your experience with us. That's on Across the Desk after the news. It's 10.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The Netflix documentary on the debacle involving Bester and Dr. Nandipa will be aired following a failed court bid by the pair. Bester and Magudumana had approached the court with an urgent bid to temporarily stop the broadcast of the production titled Beauty and the Bester. But the High Court in Pretoria this morning struck the matter from the roll. Khomotso Modise has more.
Dr. Nandipa had made an argument on urgency as the documentary was set for release this morning, but Judge Sulet Porterol says this urgency was self-created, as she knew as early as last month about the screening, but only approached the court this week.
On 20 August 2025, the trailer for the documentary was indeed aired. This is 19 calendar days and 13 court days before the application is launched.
Judge Porterol also slammed Makudumana's lawyers for their late submissions of court papers.
From the outset, the attorney for the doctor's attitude that a court must entertain a matter on the 11th September while the answer need only be filed on the 10th of September before midnight, is preposterous.
Bester's application, which was separate from Magudumana's, was also dismissed with the court ruling that should he suffer defamation, he can sue. The flighting of the documentary will go ahead as planned this morning. Khomza Modise, Eyewitness News at the Pretoria High Court.
A serial rapist has been arrested after his reign of terror for 17 years in Gauteng and the Northwest. The 41-year-old man was handcuffed in Diepkloof, Soweto on Wednesday this week. A collaborative effort between national and provincial officers led to his arrest after years of investigations. Jabulile Mbata reports.
The suspect, whose first crime was reported in 2008, has accumulated 45 cases since then. The Diepkloof police station has 38 dockets, while the Orlando station has 5 of crimes including rape, kidnapping, robbery and assault. His victims are aged between 14 and 55. His crimes consisted of using a gun and knife while covering himself with a balaclava to hide his face. Police spokesperson Dintswalo Sibeko.
The SAPS commends the bravery of the victims and the efforts of the investigative team. We continue to work tirelessly to ensure justice and safety for our communities.
He is expected to appear at the Protea Magistrates Court on Monday. Jabulile Mbata, Eyewitness News.
Lawyers for Annabella Rungo, the mother of former Miss SA finalist Chidima Adechina, say they believe they have a strong case to defend her in an identity fraud case. Rungo, a Mozambican national, is expected back in the Cape Town Magistrates Court this morning. She was arrested earlier this year after remaining in the country despite her South African ID being revoked by Home Affairs last year. During her last appearance in May, the court relaxed parts of her bail conditions and it postponed the case to allow the state for more time for further investigations. Here's the member of her legal team, Stephanie Desord Dambani.
We as a legal team believe she has a good case, but it wouldn't be appropriate for us to go into detail at this stage. We are still waiting a response from the Department of Home Affairs on her pending application, which remains an important part of bringing clarity to her situation.
Some taxi drivers in the Johannesburg CBD say the reopening of Lilian Ngoyi Street will make daily peak traffic commute much easier again. The busy street was opened this morning after a 2-year closure. Taxi operators had to use alternative routes while construction teams completed repairs following a gas explosion in 2023. Afara Mushwana has more.
Taxi drivers were the first to travel on the newly reconstructed Lilian Ngoyi Street after 7 o'clock this morning. This driver, who spoke to EWN while dropping off commuters on the side of the road, says business is now returning to normal.
We had to find alternative routes to get to our destinations. It was a struggle, but I'm glad the road has been reopened.
Another taxi driver says while he's happy the road is open, he only has one concern.
But they could have made the road wider because of now traffic, 2 lanes, taxis. That's the only issue.
The city of Johannesburg says almost 90 million rand has been spent to fix the road. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News, Johannesburg.
And Zambia's government says it will seek more compensation for communities affected by a toxic spill from a Chinese-owned copper mine if this is needed following a full assessment. The spill of highly acidic mine waste laden with toxic heavy metals happened in February when a dam that had held waste collapsed, polluting a key river that is a major source of drinking water. The firm apologized and pledged to compensate the victims, but Zambia's vice president said that that may not be all, adding that the safety of Zambians is non-negotiable. Gold is trading at $3,649.80 an ounce. The rand is at 17.35 to the dollar, 23.53 to the pound, 20.35 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $66.04 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got heavy delays on the N12 and the R24 west between Edenville Road and the Giluli's interchange due to a major accident right at the merge where these roads meet. So please be on the lookout there. And if you're traveling in the city of Tshwane, delays on the N1 north between the Flying Saucer interchange and Rigel Avenue. That's due to an earlier accident. There's also queuing traffic on the N14 north just as you approach Euphues Road.
A partly cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 29 and 30 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, the Netflix documentary on the debacle involving Bester and Nandipa Netflix will be aired following a failed court bid by the pair.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
You're with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Let's walk the talk. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7 and 106 FM.
Seven minutes after 10 o'clock. Dumelang, welcome to the second hour of the Clement Manyathela Show on this beautiful Friday morning. It was probably like Hymn Friday on the show today, and I'm glad that a lot of you felt touched and your day opened up today as we were playing some of the hymns. I must say that there are many other hymns that I wanted to play. In fact, someone told us about a Tsonga hymn, which turns out actually to be a hymn I used to play a lot when I was at university. I loved it, and I don't even know the words. I don't even understand what it says, but the title of the song is Nzi Tlakusela, and it was actually made popular by Worship House, which was like a musical gospel group at the time. I don't know if they're still around. But it's an incredible hymn. I don't know what it says. I don't know what the message is. But for some reason, every time I listened to that song, I was just filled with emotions. So next time, we'll probably start with the song when we play hymns on the show. So time now for our Across the Desk feature. And remember, at 11 o'clock, we're going to do our relationship feature. So let's get into our Across the Desk feature, where I'm hosting people who have had successful IVF journeys.
Across the Desk
with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
So I want you to give us a call on 011-883-0702. You can send us a WhatsApp as well to join this conversation on 072-702-1702. I want you to share your own experience with IVF. Did it work out? Did it not work out? I know how emotionally draining it can be from some of the stories that we hear, how financially draining it can be. So I just want you to tell us how your journey has been. So feel free to give us a call or send us a WhatsApp voice note. Let me introduce you to my guests this morning. We've got Marli Goldberg. Her and her husband had a successful IVF journey. Who's joining us in studio. How are you doing, Marli?
Good, and you?
Thank you for coming through.
Thanks for having me.
We also have Thulisile and Brian Kobue. They also had a successful IVF journey. Thulisile and Brian, thank you for coming through.
Thank you.
Unsuccessfully, so we had done everything from timed ovulation to intrauterine, the IUIs, and nothing seemed to work. Mm-hmm. And eventually we thought, well, we're not getting any luck from it. So we spoke to our doctor and we said, well, what's the next step? And he said, well, either you can carry on trying or we can do IVF. Mm. And we took a month and we decided, well, we really wanted kids, so we're going to go to the IVF route. Mm-hmm. And sure, it was quite a process, but we were successful and we had our little one.
From the first attempt, you were successful.
The first attempt. Wow. So he is my miracle. We got 4 eggs, 2 fertilized, and we transferred 2, and the 1 took. And he is, my miracle boy.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And for you, Thulisile and Brian, what was the story for you guys?
So after we got married, we initially didn't want to have kids immediately. We wanted to bond. We wanted to spend time together, get to know each other.
Yeah.
But we, after a year, we sort of like found it weird that nothing was happening because we didn't, we were not in taking any preventative measures, any medication, and then we started getting worried a little bit. That's when we started, investigating and seeking medical help.
Yeah. And was it stressful to listen at the time?
It was extremely stressful for me mostly. My husband was better, unless he was hiding his emotions.
Yeah,
I
like
was
we always
crying.
do.
Yeah, like men do. I was crying every time. My gosh, I don't know how many tears I've shed.
Yeah.
Like it was a 6 years journey.
6
I would
years?
cry, yes, 6 years.
Wow.
Every month on my periods, I would break down and cry because it was a reminder that whatever you tried didn't work. We've seen so many doctors, but it was just not happening. You tried everything you knew, but this thing was just not moving. So it was quite emotional for us.
Yeah. And when you finally did it, were you successful at the first attempt as well? How long did it take you guys?
The first attempt wasn't successful. So we tried that. It didn't work out. We decided to take a break. I think it was about a year, right? And then after that, we tried a different clinic. The first attempt, we actually did it at a public clinic because our doctor advised that it would be cheaper. So for one cycle at a private clinic, you would try, you'd have a chance to try it twice or so. But then when that didn't work, then we sought help at a private clinic. And the first attempt there worked. And then 2 years later, we went back and then it worked again.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So we also have our miracle babies.
How old are they now?
6
bundle
and 4.
of joys. 6
Oh,
and
the
4.
bundle of joys, yeah.
And
6
Marli,
and
for you,
4.
how old?
8 and 3.5.
8 and 3.5. How would you describe the process for you guys? I mean, yes, first attempt was great, but is it like an exhausting process emotionally?
Beyond. I was just saying now that, and people are gonna laugh, if we ever had to have gotten divorced or had a huge fight, it would have been over IVF because it is that taxing on you as a woman, emotionally, physically, mentally, all the injections, all the stress and the tax, the toll it takes on your body is just unreal.
How many injections do you have to take? Like, do you do them yourself, or you have to go to?
So I didn't do them. My husband very, very nicely did them for me.
Yeah.
But it's injections every single day for, I think, what was it, a week or 2 weeks?
Day.
Yeah. And then you have to go in. They have to make sure the eggs are growing. And, if it's not growing enough, then they give you extra medication. So I had to take extra. And, once the eggs are at a certain size, then they give you another injection to trigger the release of the eggs. And it's just, the medication was just unbelievable. And then, before you start IVF, I'm sure you had the same thing. They literally put you into a menopausal state. So your body shuts down, literally shuts down. And then they give you medication to restart your body so that your period comes back, your body is normal, and then you can go ahead and
So there are side effects here.
Beyond.
Yeah. So couples then have to be ready for something like that. Like, you don't just get into it.
No. Well, we did. We literally just jumped in.
Yeah.
But that's me. We thought, well, IVF's the next step. We didn't realize the implications of it. So we both just jumped in and did what we had to do.
Yeah.
And the second IVF was more taxing on me because it was considered a failed IVF. So it didn't, the meds didn't work. And we had to cancel it. And then I fell pregnant afterwards, literally 2 days later after we stopped.
How did the doctors explain that?
No idea. so that's why my boys are
miracle boys.
Miracle boys.
And for you guys, Brian, what the emotional strain, what some of the challenges you guys faced in the journey?
You know what? It's quite an emotional roller coaster, especially on my wife, on women. When they go to family occasions, they get asked questions. When they go to baby showers, it's quite a painful thing. With us men, we sort of can handle it in a way. It's not as tough because men hardly ever talk about these things. Yeah, your boys will ask you here and there, but it's not like, it's a serious thing where you end up being emotional and all that. I think on women it's the toughest because they see their friends getting pregnant, they have to organize baby showers and the like. So
Sure.
yeah.
How did you take the injections, Lucille? How was that for you?
It was
Just the
hard.
process before there was then a success.
So for me, the injections was the hardest part because number one, I don't like injections.
I hate injections.
Like if I go to the doctor, I avoid injections at all costs. So I tried a lot of remedies. I actually Googled, believe it or not, how to make the injection better. And then
We always go to Dr.
yeah,
Google,
we
eh?
do. Then they'll tell you take ice, put it on your stomach, make it a bit numb, and then you inject. And then I'll play some soothing spa music or gospel music so that I'm in another
Yeah.
state of mind.
Did it
Then
work?
inject myself. Unlike her, I didn't trust my husband to do the
Yeah.
injections.
I'm a bit rough.
So it was not going to work
Yeah.
out. So
Sure.
that's what I went through.
I can't imagine injections every single day. Like
Yeah,
that
it's
is
rough.
quite a
And
hectic
they're
day.
not small.
Yeah,
But
they're
it looks like
small.
I don't know about you, but
Like
mine
these
looked like an EpiPen.
Oh my goodness.
So
Yeah, I'm getting goosebumps just listening
Yeah.
to that. So how, like, did you ever like consider that? Okay, was adoption ever a consideration, or did you guys go, no, we actually want to go this way?
we did, but my husband and I always thought, we wanted our own kids. Adoption was the last resort.
Yeah.
But adoption here is not an easy task.
Yeah.
It's beyond. So we thought, well, if we can't have our own, then we were quite happy to carry on and
Yeah.
just be with each other and be married and do what we had to do. And it wasn't off the cards, but it was an absolute last resort for us.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder what friends and families also said when you were telling them you're doing IVF. I know in some of our families, I mean, these things are taboo. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like they think you're saying you're engineering babies. Like,
Yeah.
that's how some people look at it. How did you guys navigate that? Like, did you have to explain it to like family and friends how this was done, or you just chose to, we're not going to share this with anybody, we're just going to have the kids?
So we didn't really share. It was just our parents who knew and our siblings. And then they didn't judge us, of course. They were a support structure.
Yeah.
Our parents, because this was not done, I think, when they were growing up, we just had to
Yes.
explain how the process works. Funny enough, that question, I only find it now when people ask, when you encourage them IVF, that say, no, but you are playing God, that type of thing. And they don't really understand how it works, because even the fertility doctor will tell you after they've done everything, because they try and mimic your natural menstrual cycle. And then when you ovulate, then they'll put back your embryo, which is your sperm and your egg that are fertilized. Then from there, they tell you, guys, we've done our job. From here, it's up to God. It's only God who can give life. So I think when people change their perception or start understanding better, then it makes more sense.
Yeah, that's fast. And Marli, for you, did you have to explain? Did they get it? Like those close to you guys?
So we really only told my father-in-law and my dad. We didn't tell the mothers. No, it's just moms react very differently.
Yeah.
And also I'm not one to have the, oh, shame, you have to do this. I don't do that. So our fathers were very, very supportive, and they were the only ones. And I think my sister was the only other one who actually knew. Other than that, it was just, like I say, we went, we did, and that was it.
Yeah.
It's not something, and maybe it's wrong. It's not something that we broadcast.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. Like it needs to be spoken about and made non-taboo, because people need to know that they're not the only one in the situation.
Absolutely.
Every second or third person is going through it. So it's important.
And awareness is so important. I got shocked one day when I was at a dinner table and we're having a chat, and I was sharing these friends of mine that a business partner I have was actually born through IVF, and someone on the table said, "Oh, is he normal?"
Oh my
I was
word.
like, what do you mean? Like is he like a normal like us? So I was like, what do you mean? Like for me, that I just thought people
ignorance.
need to
It
be
is
taught,
ignorance.
or that you are ignorant or you're not reading. But maybe there is also an opportunity for greater awareness here to teach people about IVF. 011-883-0702. It's 22 minutes after 10 o'clock. I want to take your calls and WhatsApps after this. On our Across the Desk feature this morning, I'm hosting people who have had successful IVF journeys, and we just want to understand what the journey was like. But I also want to hear from you. And maybe you've got questions, you're considering it, and you want to know, what do I need to prepare for? Give us a call on 011-883-0702. WhatsApp's on 072-702-1702.
Aubrey Masango.
Weekday evenings,
8 to midnight.
We are watching in real time a shift in hegemonies and concentrations of power in the world. We're literally seeing the United States being cut in half, ideologically speaking, with the very scary prospects of real violence in that country. It is a stressful time. You need to be conscious and deliberate about being kind to yourself, being kind to others. Protect your mind, protect your heart, because we've never been here before.
Aubrey Masango.
8 to midnight on 702.
702.
The South African Future Trust Summit's premium entrepreneurial showcase returns to the Sandton Convention Centre on the 5th and 6th of November, bringing together entrepreneurs with bold ideas and big ambition. Come and witness the big pitch, where our 10 finalists will compete for the coveted $1 million business investment. Join masterclasses with industry experts who will share valuable knowledge on relevant topics, and seize the opportunity to pitch your business ideas to leading investors. Don't miss out. Limited tickets are available. Book yours now at summit.southafricanfuturetrust.org in partnership with 702.
Medical care, like music, needs continuity, a steady rhythm and pattern. Patients attended to on time, medication taken as prescribed. Cut the rhythm and it falls apart. Right now, global funding cuts are restricting access to healthcare. With your support, Doctors Without Borders can continue to provide medical care to communities worldwide. Because medicine, like music, only works when uninterrupted. Doctors Without Borders, we go there.
This is Jade. She'll spend hours comparing almond milk and once made a spreadsheet just for sneakers. But when she found Santam, SA's leading short-term insurer that offers a range of cover options, from vehicle to building and home contents, even she didn't overthink it. The kind of freedom Santam gives you takes some getting used to. Speak to your broker. Santam, this is freedom. Santam is an authorized FSP, a licensed non-life insurer and controlling company for its group companies.
Be in it to win it by playing Powerball and Powerball Plus for a life-changing 124 million rand in total estimated jackpots this Friday. That's right. Play Powerball for an estimated 64 million rand and Powerball Plus for an estimated 60 million rand today. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529# for USSD. Panda, Pusha, play. Players must be 18 years old or play responsibly. E2 is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
Across the Desk
with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
25 minutes after 10 o'clock, I'm hosting people who have had successful IVF journeys on the Across the Desk feature this morning. And I know there are some of you that may be considering doing it, and you've got some questions, or you've done it and it hasn't been successful. How has that journey been like for you? Or you've done it and it has been successful. Was it successful at the first attempt after a couple of times? Please share your stories with us. We're taking your calls on 011-883-0702. Your WhatsApp's on 072-702-1702.
Your guest, can I just ask you, how much does it cost? Yeah, and is there any facilities that your guests can recommend? Thanks. Bye.
Good morning, Clement. I wish to ask the guests there, how do they navigate the silent bereavement that they surely have been through, particularly with failed IVF trials that they had? how did they navigate the pressures that goes with in-laws, families asking them, when are you having a baby? When are you having a baby? Because I find that many people go through so much pain silently when it comes to infertility. And I do offer counseling to people who need that. And I'm just quite interested, have they been through counseling and how did they navigate this particular area of grieving the loss of finance, the loss of failed attempts? How did they go about? Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Let's start with you, Marli.
Sure.
There was a question about cost and if there is a recommendation of, if you have any, and the navigating also that, yeah.
So I would suggest Dr. Volshenk, who has now moved to Pretoria East.
Fertility clinic.
But Vitalab is just as absolutely incredible.
Okay.
Any of the doctors there are phenomenal. Just Dr. Volshenk got me my 2 boys. So I'm very grateful for that. And navigating the loss, that's a good question. So after our failed IVF, I was devastated. It took a while to, I suppose, get myself together and be there for my husband and my child, because you can't sit and cry all the time. But you process it, I suppose, as you feel the emotions come. You can't, there's no right or way to deal with it. Some people go into depression, some people grieve like you've had a death or whatever, but it depends on you as a person. And the costs, I'm not sure. Ours was about 150 or 180,000 for our last IVF.
Okay.
But you can always email them for quotes and a payment plan or whatever they can offer you, so you don't have to potentially lay it all out up front.
Okay.
I don't know if Pretoria East does that. I think Vitalab does that.
Okay. And for you guys?
I would definitely recommend Pretoria Fertility Clinic. Dr. Volshenk also works there, but we've worked closely with Dr. Dro. So they are quite reasonable, actually. So this year, I asked them, the cost is about plus minus 70,000.
Okay.
So how I got to know this is they've partnered with us. We've got an NGO that we work with them to raise awareness. So then they gave me the figures. So everything that comes through Sedi and Entle, then we refer them to them.
Okay.
And then we've also partnered in terms of mental health, how we're coping with clinical psychologist Tabang Clark. He gives discounts for people who come through us to
great.
them, because it weighs a lot on your mental health. I don't even know how I navigated it, to be quite honest. It's a roller coaster. But what kept me going was my faith. Although sometimes I think at the end, on the 6th year, I was angry at God. I was cursing God. But I find that cursing and crying relieved me a bit. And talking about it, like to my sisters, my husband, our parents, our mom-in-laws. Luckily for us, our mom-in-law and my mother and my dad were very supportive. So we didn't feel the pressure. But we felt it from distant family members that would always be asking you when you are having a child and things like that. So at the end, I think for us, when we went to occasions, we said we don't want kids anymore. That was our coping mechanism, so they can stop asking us.
Hey, people will ask, hey? Yo, they will ask. It's 10:30. Let's get the latest in Eyewitness News headlines. Marcus in Johannesburg, I see your call. I'll start with it after the latest. Swiso, hi.
Thanks, Clement. Good morning. The Netflix documentary on the debacle involving Bester and Dr. Nandipha Netflix will be aired following a failed court bid by the pair. Bester and Netflix had approached the court with an urgent bid to temporarily stop the broadcast of the production titled Beauty and the Bester. Parliament is looking to review an act that determines who may live in its housing complexes in Cape Town. Traditionally, the parliamentary villages are occupied by parliamentarians, those who do not have permanent houses or homes in the city. But Parliament now wants to consider whether it can extend the privilege to staff of the legislature and political parties. And Deputy President Paul Mashatile says one day US President Donald Trump will see the light and review his decision to cut HIV/AIDS funding to South Africa. Mashatile says he hopes the cuts in funding from the president's emergency plans for AIDS relief by the US does not make South Africa regress in its fight against HIV/AIDS. And those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 11 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Well, traveling in Freedom Park, we've got delays along the Golden Highway just as you approach Union Avenue. There's faulty traffic lights along this route, and then there's also road works that are taking place. So please be on the lookout and be patient if you're traveling around this area. While on the N12 West, we've got some delays between Edenvale Road and the Kilulis interchange. Earlier on, there was an accident that happened right near the R24 merge, and that's the reason for those long queues. If you're traveling in Edenvale, we've got some delays along the Linksfield Road. This is just as you approach the Edenvale Hospital. Please be on the lookout. Road works are taking place there, and that's the reason for those queues. And then traffic lights are order in full at Winnie Mandela Drive and Leslie. They're also out of order in Edenvale at Van Riebeeck Road and Modderfontein Road. More updates coming up at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays
12 to 1.
Are you confident that you'll be able to bring tensions down there and regain control of the situation?
Yes, of course, but that issue, as I've said, the people to address it is the city of Johannesburg. I've spoken to our executive mayor as I was addressing the community. The community were calm. Based on that, I think it helps that I had to ascend and come here and interact with the community.
Lieutenant General Tommy Mtumbeni, the Gauteng Commissioner.
The Midday Report
with Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
In business, nothing says you always get something out better than getting cash back. Switch to Outsurance Business and you could get an out bonus of up to 10% of your paid premiums back. For catering companies, boutique hotels, guest houses, tour operators and other industries, Outsurance Business are trusted experts in business insurance. Get a hassle-free quote today. Call 08600 60,000 or visit outsurance.co.za. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's and C's and information online. Limits apply.
Hollywood Bet Aziz Shege. Be on the Game is back for the new soccer season. Up for grabs is a share of 4 million rand in prizes, including the Toyota Rumion, Corolla Cross, Hilux 2.4 GD6 DC, and a Starlet Cross. To qualify, bet 10 rand or more on any soccer fixture or fixtures for your chance to score big. Bet now. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp HELP to 076 675 0710.
Dreaming of your next getaway? Whether it's a sun-soaked beach escape, adventure-packed tour, or luxury cruise, Flight Centre is your go-to for travel. From flights and hotels to tours and cruises, we've got it all. Plus travel insurance for peace of mind. If you want the best deals, you can save more by taking advantage of our Bundle Plus Save offer. Plan your trip today at your nearest Flight Centre store or visit flightcentre.co.za. Flight Centre, your centre for travel.
Across the desk
with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
25 minutes before 11 o'clock, we continue with our conversation around IVF this morning on our Across the Desk feature. We're hosting people who have had journeys with IVF, and we've heard from them, and I want you to share your experiences as well, but also bring in some questions if you have any. Let's start with Nina, who is calling us from Germiston. Nina, good morning. Oh, is it Nana?
Good morning. It's Nana, Clement.
Hi, Nana.
Thank you for taking my call. I think, in fact, I actually got a call from a friend to say I must tune in because this, for me, this took a lot from me. I basically, I still haven't even recovered from it. We went through the journey 2021, 2022 with my husband. And even prior to that, we tried, and nothing worked. And this time, I literally hoped that it was going to work. And the day I went on my period, I just lost it all. I can't even describe the feelings. At the age of 40, I'm 43 now, and I've been with my husband for over 20 years, and it's just been impossible. And each and every time you hope and hope and hope, and nothing really happens. And it's just it comes with a lot of anxiety. It's a roller coaster of emotions, and you keep on anticipating, and you feel out of control, and you wonder how different are you from other women, that some people can easily conceive, and yet you pay so much to try and get assistance, and nothing happens even after that. It just leaves you frustrated, and at times you feel like maybe one should have tried to have kids at an earlier stage. Maybe none of that wouldn't have happened, because sometimes we prioritize, careers and etc. And you want to be sure that this is the right time to have kids, and only to find that there's complications later on.
Sure. Yeah.
So I think, and I feel there isn't enough support for women to navigate the space, because even from a workspace, when you're going through that, people don't understand. When you go into that period, there's constant scans that you go through, there's tests, there's this and that, and if you're dealing with people who don't understand the journey, that also frustrates. But for me, I'm so fortunate that I have a husband that, even with the failures that we've gone through, he's never made me feel like, because we haven't succeeded, it's my fault, or it's the end of the world. If your spouse is supportive, I guess it makes it a little bit easier.
Better. Do you guys want to try again, Nana? Have you decided if you want to give it a shot again?
Look, we are both self-employed now, and at that time he was employed, and the cost of IVF is enormous, and we can't afford that now. I would love to, but I can't afford it.
Yeah, Nana. I wish you guys the best. I hope there can be ways to try again, because as you hear the stories, some people do have failed attempts, but sometimes it really works out. Maybe after the third or the fourth, someone sent a message, I'll go to the WhatsApps in a moment, who says they tried 5 times until it was successful. Makas, you are calling us from Johannesburg. Good morning.
Hello, Clement. How are you?
Sure. How are you, brother?
I'm fine, man. No, I also went to this journey, but I have kids of my own, 5 kids.
Yeah.
So, when you...
Wait, did the 5 kids came through IVF or...
No. They are my own kids, yes. Yeah, so in the later stages, when I was lobolat my wife, then we had a problem with conceiving. So we didn't know what is going on, because she was also having 1 kid who came to the marriage. But the problem is we went and started the process. It is very, very difficult process and costly. So they extracted 6 eggs. Healthy eggs. Then there was 1 failed attempt. Then when we're supposed to come back again and try the other 5, then that is where we broke up. So the eggs are still there with a very, very we spend money there. I think I spent sort of like 70,000. So, but we did it at the public sector. So this thing, it needs to, when a person you are with, it needs to be, you need to be together in this process. But I thank God it did not happen, because I myself, I was not that really for a kid, but she's the one who was forcing to to have a kid. So I think maybe it was God's blessing or something, because sometimes to bring kids in this world and you find out the other one is not truly committed.
So you were not aligned. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I
but
think
what's
we're
the
not aligned.
decision then about the eggs? Have you guys spoken about that? What's going to happen to that?
I don't know, because they are frozen. I don't know how many years they say they are frozen, but they are there. So maybe if she can decide again to use it, I don't know. But the eggs are just there. But for myself, I no longer want kids. I have 5 kids. I have also grandchildren. I am done, Clement. So
You sound like you're done, Marcus. You sound like you're done. Thank you. Thank you for your call. Let's hear from Palisa in Midrand. Palisa, hi. Hello, Palisa.
Hi, Clement. I'm here, Clement.
Yes,
can you hear me?
hi. We can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead.
Yes. Thank you for taking my call. Clement, I'm actually on my way this morning to transfer my 2 embryos at the Pretoria Fertility Clinic, actually now at 11, with Dr. Patrol.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and in terms of the cost, it really depends. It depends on a case by case. The complexities that differ per person. So in my case, when we did the retrieval, the egg retrieval, they found that I had what we call a polyp. So there was no way they could do a fresh transfer. So I had to, immediately after the retrieval, they had to remove the polyp because then, you need to have like a very clear environment for transferring the embryos. So they had to remove the polyp, and then I had to wait for 2 cycles before I could actually do the transfer. So the transfer is actually today. But so far we paid 82,000, and that is paid on the day of transfer. You must just settle the bill. So far we had to settle 82,000. But yeah, I mean, someone can pay less than that. In my case, when I called the clinic, I asked them if had I not waited for the 2 cycles, probably could have even gone to 70.
Okay.
So yeah, it just depends on the different issues that you have as a person, and which I do really appreciate the Pretoria Fertility Clinic for picking up such, and making sure that they've cleared everything before we proceed. So
Alisa,
at this point, I'm just crossing my fingers.
Yeah. So I can only imagine how exciting and anxious it is at the same time. So we wish you all the best, Alisa. Please do call me and tell me how the journey has been.
Okay. I will
Thank
do
you.
So.
All the best.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
That's Palisa there in Midrand. We got a call earlier from Nana who spoke about the support system. How important is that?
Oh, wow. Beyond important. You need people who you can talk to, shout to, cry to, celebrate the joy with, any and every part of the journey. So my sister was one of them, and then one of my best friends was the other one. And obviously my husband, who was incredible. He supported through every emotion.
The screaming, the mood swings, the everything.
He really is my rock. But you need a support system, and then we've got a fertility group as well. Who the girls there are phenomenal. They understand from their point of views as well. So you can talk to them about anything and everything, and all of them have got some words of encouragement or support that you need. So if Nana is happy, she can contact me with pleasure.
Yeah.
We can add her to the group for some support.
That's great.
Whatever she needs to take from that cup.
Amazing.
She can contact us.
Please tell us more also about you said there's an NGO, ne? Yeah. Is it valid for the support? Like, what do you guys deal with, and what's the name?
So the name of our foundation is Sedi Entle. It's named after our kids. We just changed the names around. But then, so we felt God is calling us to do this after our own journey, so we can support people on the same journey. So like I explained earlier on, we've partnered with Dr. Dro from Pretoria Fertility Clinic and the psychologist. So what we do, we have workshops and then we get the doctors to come speak for free to educate people about infertility, what options are there for them. Currently, we're actually organizing another one, but it's a live one to speak about preserving your fertility. So like egg freezing, embryo freezing for later on. So we try to do such things, and then we try source out for funds because, as you've heard also, fertility treatments are expensive. So far this year, we've actually helped 2 couples through fundraising, the donations we received to do fertility treatments. Actually, there's one couple that is going to have a baby, so we're excited about that. And so through the psychologist also, so he gives discounts for counseling.
Yeah.
And we also have support groups also that we belong to, like she's saying. Sometimes you just want to vent. You need people who would understand you, who've been on the journey. Then they'll encourage you on that day while you are going through what you're going through. So essentially, that's what we do. We try to raise awareness, most importantly. And with the funding, we try to raise funds, obviously, through donations, looking for people to partner with us so we can help them. Because it's not an easy journey to go through by yourself.
Brian, any advice to husbands and partners out there whose wives or partners are going through IVF?
My advice would be to say that, support each other. Be there for one another. You shouldn't play the blame game because you in it together. So the support between you guys as a couple is very, very important because issues can be either way. It can either come from a woman or the man. So it shouldn't be like a blame game because traditionally it's like when a couple is struggling to conceive,
They look to the woman.
So yeah.
Yeah, okay. I want to take some more calls. Let's start with Mogale in Fourways. Mogale, good morning.
Hi, Clement Manyathela.
Mogale, sure.
With my past experience, which is 28 years ago, she's up, running and living. I hear a lot of people are talking about the expenses on that. Yes, everything gets paid, at the end of, the day when the embryo and all that is done. But what we managed, or it was sheer mercy of God, we managed to claim that from receiver.
From SARS?
Yes, because we had medical aid, and of course, whatever then, I don't know now, whatever then that medical aid or, could not afford or pay, you would always claim that from SARS, and we got every cent of it.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. Mogale, thank you so much.
But that's 28 years ago.
I mean, I'm sure probably still the same. I don't know. Maybe someone else who works at SARS listening to us can. But
I
Marli,
think there's a limit to what you get back. But I do remember us getting, we claimed for it as well as a medical expense.
Okay.
And they do reimburse you up to a specific limit with a refund.
Now you can claim.
We didn't know.
And get some of it back. Yeah. Lucas, you're calling us from Kensington. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement.
Hey, sir.
Yes, I just wanted to share my experience. We did our IVF 2 years ago. Now my boys are, they will be 3 years in December. So, the only I can say, people mustn't be afraid to approach the doctors or to approach those clinics. They are helpful. Of course, there's a lot of tests you have to go through. It's a process. There's a lot of blood tests. There's a lot of... so you just have to be patient and follow the instruction. And by grace God, you will do successful IVF.
And how old are your kids now, Lucas?
They will be 3 years in December. 22 December, they will be 3 years.
Oh, twin boys, yeah. Wow.
I did that in Bioheart Clinic.
Amazing. Lucas, thank you so much for sharing that with us. Let's go to some WhatsApp voice notes that have come on 0727021702.
Good morning, Clement. Oh, what a topic. I know a couple that did their IVF through Steve Biko Academic Hospital. They do offer that service. The rates are lower than when you go to a private institution. They used a doctor who's based there at Steve Biko Academic. His name is Dr. BJ Biko. I think other couples can consider that route because I just had the costs and it's a lot.
Hi, Clement. So I am working with a donor agency that matches donors with people that are looking to go through the IVF process. And I have to tell you that working in this environment and working with people that want to start families and are struggling to start families it can be quite an emotionally draining process, but it's also very fulfilling when you've successfully matched a donor with a recipient and you see them actually starting a family. It can be very fulfilling, but I tell you now that this is a very taxing process to go through for the people that are trying to start families and are trying to have babies.
Yeah. Mike, you and Midran, good morning.
Hi, Clement, how are you?
Hey, Tsadak, I'm not doing
Clement, I know you've got a lot of sense of humor. The reason why I'm calling, I just want to make you laugh a bit. IVF, just for me, it works. I had experienced that 1 year, 4 months ago. Now, what happened is I didn't know that I'm infertile. How so? We went to the doctor because we were trying with my wife. We went to a couple of gynaes and they said there is nothing wrong with the wifey. The problem was with me. And I said, why am I having a problem? Because I've got kids from the previous marriage. I'm divorced. They said, let's show you something. Your spermatozoa, they are very fertile, but they can't swim. They can't reach the egg. And I said, I can't believe it. Now, what happened is with IVF, Ahuna Jazz, Clement, more than 100% walk through the camera. They put
You
the
see
camera
it.
there, you see live, boss.
Yeah.
You see your sperm goes and it
Swimming.
travels, goes kilometers an hour without faith until it fertilizes. Nah, Ahuna the issues now.
Yeah. So, thank you.
You are your fun.
Yeah, yes, pardon. No, thank you, Mike. Thank you so much. So how old is the child now?
Peter can't mention the hospital or the doctor on air. I can't do that. But what's
How old is the child now?
1.4, 1 year, 4 months.
1 year, 4 months.
Hyperactive.
Yeah, hyperactive.
Yeah.
Mike in Midrand. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's 6 minutes now before 11 o'clock.
Across the desk
with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Sure, I've got a lot of messages here. Where do I begin? Let's try and read a few before we wrap up our conversation. Belinda says, hi, Clement. I had my first IVF on the 6th attempt. Later, we had a second child on the 3rd attempt. So in total, we have 9 attempts and 2 beautiful children, a boy and a girl. My goodness. Hectic. Belinda, thank you so much for that. And I think that encourages, other women out there who are probably on their 3rd failed attempt who think it's just simply not possible. Robert says, Clement, my husband and I tried IVF 5 times with a surrogate and donor eggs without success. Each time there was devastation, and there was 50K a pop, and it was incredibly an expensive exercise. And then another one says, okay, this one was asking about the cost. We've already dealt with that. Anonymous says, Clement, I'd like to congratulate your guests there in studio. I did IVF. It was not successful and it was so expensive. We accepted our situation and we moved on. Although it was so painful, we're still together with my husband. 36 years of marriage. That's another. That's a message from Anonymous. Another one says, Clement, this is Anonymous from Midrand. I'm tuned in while I'm on my way to transfer my embryos This is my first cycle. So here's another person as well, just like Balisa who called us earlier. And then another one says, Clement, I initially had an ectopic pregnancy and had a fallopian tube removed, and unfortunately the other tube blocked, which left us with no option but to go through the IVF route. It was physically, emotionally, and financially draining. We spent over 200K. Not that we had the money, but sacrificed everything and just focused on the IVF because we desperately wanted our own kids. Ernest says, Clement, my wife and I went through IVF in 2019 through BioArt, and it was successful with our daughter. Before that, she was dealing with lengthy procedures to deal with fibroids, which were stressful periods and crying pains. To my surprise, we naturally conceived last year. And had a baby boy in April this year. Gaini said it happens more often than not. That's amazing. So many messages of people sharing their journeys with us. Thank you for sharing those. And thanks to you guys for coming to studio.
Thanks for having us.
To share your journeys with us. I really, really appreciate it. Marli, Thulisile, and Brian. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
It's 3 minutes before 11.
So Taryn, you've just graduated cum laude, but nothing says you're a genius quite like selling your car to WeBuyCars.
Absolutely. My car was an 18th birthday present and it's time to move on to something a bit more mature.
So where did you hear about WeBuyCars?
All of my friends are using WeBuyCars. I would have had legit FOMO if I hadn't used them. And it was so quick. I did it on my laptop while sending around my CV.
Smart move, Taryn. Graduated and upgraded. WeBuyCars. Geared for success. Geared for you.
Do you know what's hiding behind the colorful packaging of unhealthy food? Big food companies target children with unhealthy packaged foods that hide high levels of sugar, salt, and fat, which could lead to heart disease, diabetes, and hypertension. But the truth is hidden from consumers. Front of package warning labels are a proven solution to help consumers make informed decisions. The government must act now. We have the right to know what's in our food. Demand front of package warning labels. Sign the petition on heala.org, HEALA.org, by the 30th of September.
Year in, year out, we're fixing tires faster than a Formula One pit crew. My team is on top of things like tire whisperers. If an unforeseen accident were to happen in my workshop, at least I've got My Way business insurance to keep the wheels turning.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
Clement is on X.
At The Real Clement M.
All right, coming up next after the news at 11 o'clock, it's our relationship and sex feature. Remember, it's adult radio, so no kids are allowed. For this conversation, we're going to be discussing what's often referred to as the post-nut clarity or guilt. It's a colloquial term, but it's that sense of mental clarity after some men and some women experience sexual release. Is that even a thing? So we've got someone who's going to talk to us about that. It's 11 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The Netflix documentary on the debacle involving Thabo Bester and Dr. Nandipha Makudumana will be aired following a failed court bid by the pair. Bester and Makudumana had approached the court with an urgent bid to temporarily stop the broadcast of the production titled Beauty and the Bester, but the Pretoria High Court struck the matter from the roll due to a lack of urgency this morning. Khomotso Modise has more.
Dr. Nandipha Makudumana had made an argument on urgency as the documentary was set for release this morning, but Judge Sulet Porterol says this urgency was self-created, as she knew as early as last month about the screening, but only approached the court this week.
On 20 August 2025, the trailer for the documentary was indeed aired. This is 19 calendar days and 13 court days before the application is launched.
Judge Porterol also slammed Makudumana's lawyers for their late submissions of court papers.
From the outset, the attorney for the doctor's attitude that a court must entertain a matter on the 11th September, while the answer need only be filed on the 10th of September before midnight, is preposterous.
Bester's application, which was separate from Magudumana's, was also dismissed, with the court ruling that should he suffer defamation, he can sue. The flighting of the documentary will go ahead as planned this morning. Khomza Modise, Eyewitness News at the Pretoria High Court.
A serial rapist has been arrested after his reign of terror for 17 years in Gauteng and the Northwest. The 41-year-old man was handcuffed in Diepkloof, Soweto on Wednesday this week. A collaborative effort between national and provincial officers led to his arrest after years of investigations. Jabulile Mbata reports.
The suspect, whose first crime was reported in 2008, has accumulated 45 cases since then. The Diepkloof police station has 38 dockets, while the Orlando station has 5 of crimes including rape, kidnapping, robbery and assault. His victims are aged between 14 and 55. His crimes consisted of using a gun and knife while covering himself with a balaclava to hide his face. Police spokesperson Dintswalo Sibeko.
The SAPS commends the bravery of the victims and the efforts of the investigative team. We continue to work tirelessly to ensure justice and safety for our communities.
He is expected to appear at the Protea Magistrates Court on Monday. Jabulile Mbata, Eyewitness News.
Parliament is looking to review an act that determines who may live in its housing area for allocating parliamentary accommodation. Lindsay Dentlinger takes a look.
Over the years, parliamentarians have regularly complained about the state of their homes in parliamentary villages, with some expressing distaste in committee meetings at what they view to be appalling conditions. The 3 villages, Acacia, Laboria and Pelican Park, are governed by the Parliamentary Villages Management Board Act of 1998 and managed by the Department of Public Works. Yesterday, the ANC's Deputy Chief Whip, Doris Lakude, tabled a motion to review the Act.
In the absence of a clear prescription or prohibition in the Act regarding which categories of persons may or may not reside in parliamentary villages, a review of the Act should be undertaken to bring about greater clarity.
The ad hoc committee, which will review the Act, will comprise 11 members. The committee is expected to report back to the House by the 31st of March next year. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
And Deputy President Paul Mashatile says one day US President Donald Trump will see the light and review his decision to cut HIV/AIDS funding to South Africa. Mashatile says he hopes the cut in funding from the president's emergency plan for AIDS relief by the United States does not make South Africa regress in its fight against HIV/AIDS. Mashatile was addressing the National Council of Provinces yesterday on the negative impacts of the funding cuts from earlier this year. Babalondense reports.
Deputy President Paul Mashatile says government has moved swiftly to mitigate the negative impact of the cut in PEPFAR funding. Mashatile says the measures they've put in place include the implementation of contingency plans by national and provincial departments to ensure sustained delivery of health services, especially in the 27 districts that were funded by PEPFAR. He says they will also be engaging other countries to help close the funding gap.
We remain on course, including engaging other countries in the European Union, in the Eastern Bloc and other countries, whilst we continue to engage the United States. Maybe one day Trump will see the light.
Mashatile says the Minister of Health has also spoken to the Finance Minister about investigating the possibility of funding the gaps from the fiscus. Babalondense, Eyewitness News.
Gold is trading at $3,649.80 an ounce. The rand is at 17.35 to the dollar, 23.53 to the pound, 20.35 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $66.04 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the R24 West as well as the N12 West between Barber Road and the Giluli's interchange. Please be on the lookout there. An earlier accident is causing these massive queues while heading towards Amalgam. We've got delays on the M2 West. This is between the Crown interchange and Main Reef Road.
A partly cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 29 and 30 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, the Netflix documentary on the debacle involving Bester and Nandipha will be aired following a failed court bid by the pair.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
You're with Clement Manyathela
On 702.
Let's Walk the Talk, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app,
DSTV channel 856,
92.7 and 106 FM.
Seven minutes after 11 o'clock. Dumelang, welcome to the third and final hour of the Clement Manyathela Show. Thank you for staying with us here on 702. Time for Adult Radio, our relationship and sex feature.
Relationship issues
Relationship talk.
on 702.
So, on our sex feature this morning, we are discussing what's often referred to as post-nut clarity or guilt. Do you know the term? It's a colloquial term, but what it means is that sense of mental clarity that some men experience or some women experience following sexual release. So after that orgasm or ejaculation, you feel shame or you feel guilt, or you've got more clarity about maybe even your situationship, if really that's your context. And I want to know if you've ever felt that shame or the guilt after an orgasm where you don't even want to stay for the whole night with the person you've just had a sexual encounter with, or you're feeling shame and guilt after self-pleasuring yourself, maybe after masturbation. Is it even a thing, this concept of post-nut clarity? And is it something that women experience as well? Because a lot of men do, right? And is it only confined to feelings of shame and guilt? Or could it also be clarity that comes and you're experiencing feelings of love, like an epiphany of sorts, or a feeling of gratitude? I don't know. And what lies behind that? That's the chat I think we're trying to have here, to understand what that means for us. So if you've ever experienced this as a man, as a woman, please let me know on 011-883-0702. And how did you rationalize that? The WhatsApp line is 072-702-1702. Elvis Munatswa is the co-founder of Urban Psychologists, and he's also a sexologist who's going to guide us through this conversation. Elvis, thank you so much for making time for us. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement. Good morning to your listeners. And thank you for having me.
Thank you for making time. Let's start maybe with just understanding and laying the foundation around what the conversation we're having now. When we talk about post-nut clarity, what do we actually mean? And does it only involve feelings of guilt and shame, or could it also involve feelings of just love or gratitude or other feelings other than, shame and guilt?
Thanks for this question. Maybe let's explore it a little bit, right? So post-nut clarity is the colloquial term, right? But we might consider this as thinking straight moment, right?
Mhm.
After intercourse, right? And when you start looking at this as the thinking straight moment, you then start thinking that actually there's a number of feelings associated with it. And one of them might be regret, one of it might be guilt, one of it might also be gratitude, one of it might also be, "Oh, wait a moment, there's other things that I need to worry about outside of this," right? So it's a reflective moment. So if you consider the post-nut clarity as a moment of thinking straight, depending on the circumstances that led you to that moment, then the associated feelings would always follow. So if it was something that you were never meant to do, genuinely, you are more likely to feel guilt. But if it was something that you did as an eventuality to something else, then it's a thinking straight moment. It's like, oh, wait, I could do other things. So depending on what drives the motivation prior to the event, then the post-nut clarity would always be either thinking straight or guilt moment.
Yeah. Is this something that only affects men, this reflective moment after sexual intercourse or after pleasuring yourself? Or is it something that women experience as well?
So to be fair, if we talk about it loosely, it sounds like it's a phenomenon that we've sort of popularized in social media and stuff. But the honest truth, it actually has biological basis. So it's sort of a biological reset. And because it's a biological reset, it happens to both males and females.
Okay, I see. And I will hear from the women as well, hopefully, what their experience has been, and not just the men around this reflective moment. Is it a psychological response? Like, are there studies that have been done? Because, informally you do have gents, who often will talk about it informally amongst themselves. I don't know if women often have these conversations, but informally the conversations happen, and I've never really seen proper research that's been done, but I've seen conversations, but I've never really seen research. So do we have a body of work out there that somehow helps us understand why we experience, or people experience, this reflective moment after sexual intercourse?
Yeah, so there's maybe, let me speak of maybe two researchers that we sort of attribute this to. So the first one is, I'm sure you're familiar with Daniel Kahneman's work, where he talks about thinking fast and slow. And in thinking fast and slow, he sort of speaks of two modes of thinking, or in the way that our brains works in two ways, which is a system one, which is a fast and emotional impulsive response, and system two, which is a slow and logical reflective response, right? So in explaining this brain's two models, Daniel Kahneman sort of captures that when you're exposed to a system one, which is desire, your body will act, or you act towards what your body requires you to do without necessarily thinking about consequences or affect. Then the second time, when it's all done, your system slows down. And when it slows down, it becomes logical and reflective. So the post-nut clarity sort of captures both, in the sense that the action goes prior to the reflective part. So in considering this brain's two models, following Daniel Kahneman's work on thinking fast and slow, we also have in psychology what's called affective forecasting error, in the fact that we are slow or unable to predict how strong our emotions or lust will affect our choices, right? So in this affective forecasting error, we overestimate how satisfying or releasing we feel, and underestimate how quickly that urgency will fade. So, which is also still the brain's two models of thinking, right? Thinking fast and slow. So if you consider that these biological bases are based on a hormonal level, right? So, for example, if you are excited and you are sort of getting into the action, right? Your dopamine levels are extremely high, right? And they're very, very high. And you get into this action and it gets done. But once it's done, the dopamine levels crash. And oxytocin and other chemicals like prolactin. Prolactin is that feeling of satisfaction, right? And then oxytocin brings that calm and connection, right? So this secondary process allows you then to slow down a little bit and then consider the consequences of the action. And then in that moment, a deep sense of regret could hit, a deep sense of satisfaction could hit, a deep sense of like, wait, I need to do something else that also hit. So maybe to explain that a little.
Okay, so I've got some questions, I've got some inputs as well coming from some of our listeners, and I want us to go through those after the break. So it's 17 minutes after 11 o'clock. After the break, we'll go to your calls on 011-883-0702. The WhatsApp line is 072-702-1702. Have you ever experienced this concept of a post-nut clarity, right? The sense, my guest Elvis calls it a reflective moment of sorts. And as I said, informally, when you hear especially guys talk about it, it's mostly like when they really have had sexual intercourse with someone that they're not necessarily in a relationship with, for instance, or when they've just masturbated and they would say that's how they felt afterwards. I'm not sure how it works with women, and maybe you can share your own experience with us, but there's a moment of reflection that occurs after a sexual intercourse, and it could be a feeling of clarity about the situationship or relationship you have with the person. Maybe you're feeling shame, maybe you're feeling guilt, maybe you really thought you liked someone, but after you've had sexual intercourse with them, you just don't want to even spend the whole night. You have reflected and you've got better clarity now. You're no longer influenced by like the feelings you had and the sexual urge that you had. Have you felt something like that? And how have you rationalized those feelings? 011-883-0702 is the number to dial. Send a WhatsApp as well on 072-702-1702.
Every day, South Africans are being squeezed to make ends meet. That's why there's Still Good, a new online platform where you can save up to 65% on groceries by buying Still Good value bags. Packed with groceries by leading retailers that are still perfectly good, just close to their sell-by date. You win by saving, retailers win by cutting food waste, and communities win as Still Good donates 10% of their earnings to food charities. Visit stillgood.co.za. Start getting more bang for your buck with Still Good.
One festival, endless flavor, and 2 unforgettable days of timeless music. The DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lotto Star, returns on 20 and 21 September at Kyalami Grand Prix Circuit. On Saturday, the stage erupts with Don Toliver, Questa, and Nkabi Zezwe. Then on Sunday, experience the legendary Lauryn Hill, Wyclef Jean, Lyra, and more. The DSTV Delicious Festival, powered by Lotto Star. Tickets at Ticketmaster.
Oh, hello. Let's do a little word association. I'll say some phrases, you see how they make you feel. Retirement, credit card balance, another interest rate hike. Still calm? Well then, you've got the F Factor. It's that special something that comes from having a clear financial plan to manage and protect your finances. If you broke into a sweat, you probably don't have it yet. Visit livewithconfidence.co.za to up your F Factor. Sanlam. Live with confidence. T's and C's apply. Sanlam Life is a licensed life insurer and authorized FSP.
The Johannesburg Philharmonic Orchestra presents its Symphonic Jazz Festival. Enjoy iconic South African jazz with full orchestra, big band, and rhythm section led by Marcus Wyatt. Featuring a stellar lineup of artists. Linda Auditorium on 24 September, 7:30 p.m. Tickets at Quicket.
702 and corporates that care with Ekwele are talking about Ekwele's commitment to uplifting communities across South Africa.
From Aquele's side, we get a lot of requests for water. I think the access to clean drinking and safe water has become a daily challenge for many people. So we get a lot of requests. We really deliver hundreds and thousands of bottles every year. Recently, we saw a need for a more longer-term solution, more sustainable water solutions. When we turned 25, we delivered 25 water tanks to 25 communities all over South Africa. And it was really heartwarming to see what a difference a tank can make. The first tank we put up was at a school in Groutville in KwaZulu-Natal, and the principal told us now they don't need to close their school anymore because sometimes they had to close school early because they didn't have water.
Aquele, making a positive impact one drop at a time. Learn more at aquele.co.za. 702. Let's walk the talk. Relationship issues?
Relationship Talk
On 702.
It's 22 minutes after 11 o'clock. We are taking your calls on 011-883-0702. The WhatsApp line is 072-702-1702. We're talking about the post-nut clarity. It's adult radio. If you've just joined us, so no kids allowed. And I've got the messages coming through, WhatsApps as well. So let's start there.
Good morning, Clement, and good morning to the 702 listeners. Well, with regards to the topic you have this morning, for me personally, with regards to PNC or post-nut clarity, when I am with my partner, I don't get that sense of having regret or anything like that. But I do tend to have that feeling whenever I am with someone who's not my partner, for example, maybe a sex worker. Then perhaps that's when I have regrets, or my post-nut clarity makes me regret whatever happened.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Elvis, is that from your observation and the cases you've dealt with, like something that sounds more familiar?
Yeah, so actually, this listener has sort of brought a dimension that I wanted to refer to. So generally, when we talk about post-nut clarity, it's when you get yourself into a situation initially that you could have avoided or that required you to act out of impulse. And if it's in a well-established relationship, chances are the post-nut clarity will have a different sort of presentation. You might feel like gratitude, you might feel loved, you might cuddle and whatever else you can do.
So it's the opposite
but in the event
feeling.
that you so in the event that say maybe you're masturbating, something that if somebody that ensues sort of captures the initial moment why you were doing it in the first place. And it's common that people sort of regret these things, but it's not just limited. The sort of kind of thinking is not limited to it just being post-nut clarity. It could be that bank balance that you swipe when you go shopping and you've done it impulsively. It is exactly the same feeling that you have. And at that moment when you receive that notification or from your bank that you've spent X amount of money that you were not meant to spend, then you have that deep-seated feeling that, oh, why did I do this? It is the same feeling also. It's like when you impulsively eat, you see something that you like, and you're like, oh no, why did I do this when you're on a diet, right? So it is a feeling that's transferable to different circumstances, and at that point where you need to think straight. And if the action that was performed would lead to some sort of guilt moment, the immediate feeling that follows that is guilt, and it's quite common practice.
Yeah, there are similar messages coming through here. Anonymous says, "Hi Clement, you should see how quickly I throw away my phone after masturbation." So I suppose also speaking to just that feeling of guilt and shame, and you're thinking, I shouldn't have done this in the first place. And as you said, Elvis, normally people feel like that when it's something that they could have avoided. So Anonymous here reflects on that. And then I've got a message here from another anonymous who says, "Hi Clement, anonymous here. I'm a bisexual man in my 40s. I have a high sex drive and I'm not in a committed relationship with anyone. I enjoy sex with both genders equally. My family doesn't know that I'm bi. When I've been with a woman, I have relief without feelings of guilt or love or anything. However, after sex with another man, I have feelings of guilt and shame for a day or two afterwards. I'd like to understand if these feelings could indicate that I'm actually not bisexual. I've wondered if it is just a function of my conservative upbringing. Can your guest maybe help clarify why I feel guilty after being with a man? Thank you." Thank you so much, Anonymous, for that. And Elvis, I'm very much aware that you're not able to obviously analyze and determine if someone is bisexual or not. But from what Monet is sharing here, could this be part of what his beliefs are or what his upbringing has been about? Because he says, he's a bisexual man who enjoys sex with both genders, but when he's with a woman, it's actually normal. Like there's no feelings of guilt or feelings of love or anything like that. But when he's had sex with a man, it's different. For a day or two afterwards, he's going to have guilt and those feelings of shame.
I think thanks for this, and maybe thanks to your listener for this. But let me sort of go back to a little bit of psychology and biology, right? So in psychology, there's a term we call the Coolidge effect. So the Coolidge effect is when someone loses interest in a partner right after sex, but regain quickly if a new partner shows up, right? So in this instance, in the moment she's engaging in the sexual encounters, there's no feeling of guilt, but loses interest and he has questions about self afterwards, and maybe goes a couple of days without engaging, then a new partner shows up and then the same feelings come out, right? So this is a normal process because it's driven mostly by passion and fantasy, and these become indifferent immediately after release, right? So this fantasy or this passion that they have towards this encounter only lasts until the orgasm, only lasts until that moment, right? So this is a little bit different from post-nut clarity because the Coolidge effect, for example, as I'm trying to explain it, is common in most animals actually, that they lose interest after intercourse and until a new partner shows up. And it keeps happening over and over again. And if the partner remains the same person over time and the feelings still continue, then maybe it's something that the person may need to take through therapy and find out why it happens that way. It may not necessarily be an effect of being bisexual or anything like that. It might have to do with other issues that may need to be explored in therapy or something. But it's common practice that people might gain and lose interest with a partner or with an encounter and until the next partner shows up or until the next moment shows up. And the feeling, there may not be any feelings of guilt or anything, but as a mammary response that after intercourse, the interest just dissipates.
Oh, psychology is, in fact, humanity. What a complex thing, but so fascinating. I think there are layers and layers of ourselves as humans that we still really haven't gotten close to understanding. Thank you, Elvis, for explaining that. Anonymous, I hope that's helpful. It's 11:30 now. We're going to get the latest in Eyewitness News headlines. When we come back, more of your calls, more of your WhatsApps as well on 072 702 1702. Calls on 011 883 0702. Mbali, good morning.
Thanks, Clement. Good morning. The Netflix documentary on the debacle involving Bester and Dr. Nandipha Netflix will be aired following a failed court bid by the pair. Bester and Netflix had approached the court with an urgent bid to temporarily stop the broadcast of the production titled Beauty and the Bester. But the Pretoria High Court has struck the matter from the roll for lack of urgency this morning. Refurbishments by Joburg Water to its main water system are set to begin in October. The repairs form part of a solution to ongoing water outages faced by communities in Westbury and surrounding areas where residents have been protesting over water cuts. The affected systems serve 3 reservoirs, including Hursthill, Crosby, as well as Brixton. And Trade and Industry Minister Parks Tau has withdrawn the draft regulations that would have potentially seen people with student debt blacklisted. The department recently gazetted for public comment a number of draft amendments to the National Credit Act of 2005. The withdrawal comes after Tau faced public outcry over the amendments that he said was set to strengthen consumer protections. Those are the headlines this EWN and more at midday or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
There's bumper-to-bumper traffic on the N12 as well as the R24 West. This is between Barber Road and the Glulies interchange. While travelling on the Golden Highway, this is in the Devland area as well as Freedom Park areas. Do expect queuing traffic. This is between the N1 and Union Avenue. This is due to faulty traffic lights at the intersection as well as roadworks taking place along that route. 4 ways traffic lights still out of order at Winnie Mandela Drive and Leslie, causing delays coming out of Witkoppen Road. There's also queuing traffic along the N1 North in the city of Tshwane between the Flying Saucer interchange and Rigel Avenue. While travelling in Fountains Valley, do expect some delays along the N14 North approaching Old Johannesburg Road. More updates coming up at the top of the hour with Karabo Jale. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
John Perlman. Weekday afternoons,
3 to 6.
The numbers have been moving in the direction at increasing speed, and yet on the crucial issues where they need to take the problems in this city and many others as well by the scruff of the neck, they appear either unwilling or unable to.
Where I was listening to you speak about the water crisis in the Westbury area, these are core issues. There's major infrastructure decay in many parts of the city, and what Mayor Morero needs to do is show that they have a plan because they're running out of time.
John Perlman.
3 to 6 on 702.
Light the fire this game day with a winning lineup from Checkers. Like Championship Boerewors, thick or thin for just $109.99 per kilo. Steakhouse Classic man-sized T-bone for only 140 Rand per kilo. And Tate's potato chips 125 grams. Buy any 2 for 32 Rand. Light the fire, South Africa, and let Checkers do the rest. Deals valid until this Sunday, only at Checkers.
Betway's exclusive new games are taking the world by storm. Featuring massive Megaways jackpots. Take your shot on Cash and Riches, Wolf Blaze, Gallo Gold Brunos, and many more incredible experiences for you to choose from. You're guaranteed to find a new ultra fun favorite. Get way more only at Betway. Betway's licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No persons under the age of 18 are permitted to gamble. NRGP counseling line 0800 006 008. All events are fixed odds betting games.
Zinzi, the Gen Z. Word on the street is you sold your car.
Yes, and you know I needed a glow up. Hashtag no hustle, no hassle.
So wait. The influencer got influenced by We Buy Cars.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And they came to me. They checked the car, they gave me an offer. Oh, and they paid me immediately. Easier than an Insta Live, without the weird DMs at 2 a.m.
I didn't understand half of the things you just said, but hey, We Buy Cars. Geared for the glow up, geared for you.
Relationship issues?
Relationship talk.
On 702.
25 minutes before 12 o'clock on our relationship and sex feature this morning. In case you've just joined us, it's Adult Radio. We are talking about the post-nut clarity, this concept of the post-nut clarity or guilt, the sense of mental clarity some men and some women experience following sexual release. Maybe you've just had sex, you've just masturbated, you've pleasured yourself, and you have this reflective moment. What form does it take for you? Maybe you feel shame, you feel guilt because that's something you could have avoided. Or like the listener who sent us a voice note earlier, you felt this regret and shame because you went and had sex with, I think the listener said, with a sex worker. Or like a listener who also sent us a WhatsApp text and said, for me, after masturbation, I throw my phone away because I could have avoided that. I just hate that, the ejaculation or the orgasm is done now, and what next? What is it for you that you have experienced as a reflective moment after you have had sexual intercourse? We've got your calls coming on 011-883-0702, WhatsApps on 072-702-1702.
I normally lose interest in a woman after sex if the encounter was not satisfactory. And usually for me, it would be because of my previous encounters, and I would be comparing the person with my previous lovers. And if I find the whole thing not interesting, that's when I feel like it was a waste of time. George, Johannesburg.
Okay, George. Elvis Munantswa is my guest this morning. He's the co-founder of Urban Psychologists and Sexologists. Elvis, is that a different thing to the that moment of reflection? Or because George says if the encounter wasn't great compared to what I've had in the past, then I lose interest.
So maybe the short answer is it's not entirely the same. So losing interest because you were not satisfied and personal clarity actually is not the same. Losing interest because you're not the kind of satisfaction you're looking for is different to what you eventually get. It's basically a comparison of different partners. But what post-nut clarity would be at that moment where you start thinking, oh man, I shouldn't be doing this. That guilt feeling that actually maybe a continual in this sort of direction makes you feel some type of way. Like maybe you are an immoral person. Maybe this sits a religious sort of ideology that actually you're committing adultery or something like that. So all of these feelings in the instant where you sort of feel guilty or you're unable to sort of adapt to that moment and sort of deal, then it's a little bit of a different situation.
Yeah. I've got another message here from Anonymous. Oh, and it's a female who says, hi, Clement. Anonymous here. I am female and I just want to appreciate this topic because I feel guilty every time after masturbating. And I thought this was somehow linked to my religious upbringing because they, the church, strongly discouraged masturbation. They said it will affect the outlook you have towards men, that it's going to make you objectify men. I also felt guilty when I got intimate with a man I knew doesn't love me, but for some reason I could let go. The orgasm at the end was so eye-opening. Like, is that what I want? I would ask myself, does this sex with the person who doesn't love me really fulfill me? Oh, that's so fascinating, Elvis, because Anonymous is saying that for her, it would be feelings of guilt when she is intimate with a man she knows doesn't love her. But for some reason, she just couldn't let go. So even after an orgasm with that person, she would feel, yes, it's so eye-opening to her. And she would ask herself if this is really something that she likes, to be intimate with a man who doesn't love her. Is that also a significant element in what we're discussing this morning around this reflective moment?
maybe to answer this in a different way is to look at maybe two things, right? So the one thing is overcorrection, right? So overcorrection basically means clarity sometimes can exaggerate rational thoughts. So and then people end up undervaluing the pleasure or the connection, right? What I mean by this is that someone might conclude in this instance that even though they have satisfying intercourse with this person, they deeply don't like this person, or this person does not like them, and their encounters are more transactional than it is a relationship. So in terms of overcorrecting or overcorrection for this process, then you sort of have a mismatch between the event itself and how you feel afterwards. And to overcorrect this, you sort of rationalize it and say, actually, maybe my feelings and the encounter are different. And then you separate the two because that's what works. Because if you have then the conversation about actually something's not working right, it might disrupt the order of things.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's one aspect of looking at it. And then the second aspect of looking at it is that maybe the person is judging themselves harshly. By this, they're sort of punishing how they their feelings based on their sexual encounter, right? They have internalized a lot of beliefs. They carry stigma and discriminations based on this beliefs that reinforce negative self-beliefs, that if they have an encounter with someone, then it has to follow a love relationship. And if there isn't any of that, they judge themselves actually that maybe if there was a relationship, or maybe if they love that person or the person loved them back, then it will be a linear process. And therefore they're judging themselves harshly. And in this, they're sort of perpetuating this negative self-belief. And I think these two concepts, where you judge yourself harshly or you overcorrect, are also a result that the relationship or the encounter itself may not be properly sanctioned in terms of a relationship. And because there's no borders or boundaries to this relationship, there's no guarantee for a lasting or fulfilling relationship.
Yeah. Another one says, "Hi Clement, post nut clarity tells me if I should consider pursuing the relationship or not, because sexual compatibility is important and many people tend to overlook that." Is that a clarity that then you could get for someone like Anonymous, who says, "For me, it helps me decide whether I want to pursue this relationship with you or not, and whether I'm sexually compatible with you"?
So basically, it allows you to distinguish between lust from long-term desire, right? You may realize that this was good for the moment, but this may not be sustainable. And it allows you to then make decisions outside of the sexual impulse. And this, you still feel good, but it might be just for the moment. So I think it's quite consistent.
Got it. Let's get, it's 15 minutes now before 12 o'clock. So we're going to take a break. And then when we'll come back, we'll take some more WhatsApps and voice notes and calls as we continue and wrap up this conversation.
Brush, stroke, paint, color, protect, and admire. From roof paint to exterior textures and interior silk, Warrior Paints has it all. The product range and stylish colors are amazing. And what's more, Warrior Paints has crushed prices for incredible savings. Enjoy that good old-fashioned personal service you deserve. For price, quality, variety, and service, Warrior Paints is street ahead. Warrior Paints, affordable, lasting, luxury.
Insurance pulls you in. Pineapple pulls you under. Insurance. Pineapple. Insurance. Pineapple. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited. a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
The BCCSA is calling for nominations. Do you know someone with broadcasting expertise? Nominate them to serve as a commissioner for a 4-year term starting 1 January 2026. Send a short CV and motivation to bccsa@nabsa.co.za. Nominations close 19 September 2025. Visit www.bccsa.co.za for more info.
Relationship issues
Relationship Talk
on 702.
We are wrapping up our conversation with Elvis Munatswa, who is the co-founder of Urban Psychologists and who is also a sexologist, just guiding us through this conversation around the post-nut clarity and guilt, or this reflective moment after a sexual encounter. And Elvis, for suppose guys who, because I'm seeing some messages from people who say, oh, it's so interesting because I didn't know that there's a term for this, especially from the guys who are saying, I didn't know there's a term for this, but there's a feeling that I've always had after a sexual encounter that I could have avoided, or after like a moment of, in fact, someone said a moment of weakness, described it like that. So I'm getting a sense that this is something that is experienced by a number of people out there. They just didn't know that there's a term for it. Yes, Elvis?
Minutes there. Like, maybe could you repeat just the last bit of what you said?
No, I was saying that it looks like, because when we were talking about post-nut clarity, there are some people that clearly understand the term and it's something they've experienced. But I'm getting a number of messages from people who just didn't know that it's actually, there's a term for it. So they're saying, I've always experienced this thing. I've always had this feeling, this reflective moment afterwards. Someone mentioned it, described it as a moment of weakness, that when I've had a moment of weakness and I had a sexual encounter, I would feel this way. I would feel sad and I would blame myself for doing it. I would feel like I'm the most terrible person, even after masturbation. But I never knew that there's actually, it's a phenomena. There's actually a name for it.
Yeah. So maybe what's interesting about this is that we have just looked at the post-nut clarity itself, and maybe not looked at the circumstances where this becomes necessary, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, when people are under pressure, sometimes they want an urgent release of that pressure, and that urgent release of that pressure might be that they end up masturbating, or they get into a sexual encounter with another person, and then the post-nut clarity, right? So if it was a result that they were undergoing through, say, for example, you have pressure for a job, an interview, you're going through financial difficulty or something that you need to make an urgent decision, and then you have this build-up of pressure, then one of the ways you release that pressure will lead to post-nut clarity, right? So the nut happens, and then you have the clarity of thought, where you sort of sit back and look at what it is that you need to look at. Now, if you did this and it was somebody else, and you have an encounter with someone, and maybe you had met this person at a club, maybe you had met this person in an unlikely situation, and maybe you also know that having an encounter with this person is wrong. So immediately after that moment, then the post-nut clarity, right? So the circumstances that lead to you requiring a post-nut clarity are also important, right? So it's not isolated from what someone is going through in life. And say, for example, you're living your best life. Chances are, if you're living your best life and that's your intention to live your best life, a post-nut clarity or a straight thought moment is not something that will come to you immediately. It's not something that you would consider. But if you were going through something that you needed, or that you knew will not deliver the results, then the feelings of guilt would definitely follow you.
So how can then people navigate emotion post-sex? so that they can have healthier relationships and self-awareness. And if there's anything that this phenomena, this reflective moment is supposed to teach us, what is it?
So in terms of what this moment might mean is that like we just need to make better choices. As in making better choices, we also need to understand our true desires, right? So if your desire is a sexual encounter, then find for yourself what works. If it's being in a relationship, or if it's a transaction, and remove older beliefs that you carry, reevaluate your belief systems, so that when this happens, or your post-nut moment, it doesn't lead you back to those self-defeating beliefs. And now you carry a guilty feeling, which might actually affect your performance in the next encounter. So maybe just understand your true desires. And if you're in a relationship, maybe strengthen the way you communicate about your desires, or strengthen the way that you communicate about your needs, so that it's not an impulse for you having, it's not impulsive sexual encounters, but they are progressive over time. And then if what you might then need to do ultimately is to align your values with your actions. This is the part where we take accountability, right? It's not common for many people to take accountability, but if you align your values with your actions, then you're less likely to carry feelings of guilt.
Yeah. And why is it so difficult for people to just have that conversation? I mean, there's so much stigma around discussing even sex itself or post-sex emotions, and there are people that are just not open to talk about it. How do you advise couples to, or even just individuals, because maybe some are not in, committed relationships, but they've got sexual partners. How do they even start to make it normal to have these kind of conversations? As you say, communicate your desires. A lot of couples are just struggling with that. They think sex is something to just do, and you don't have to discuss it before or afterwards, or even talk about what do I want better.
Maybe the easiest advice I can give is have sex with someone you like and someone that likes you back. It's a foundational principle for communication in a relationship or in any form of transaction. If the person has regard for you and you regard for that person, it becomes a little bit easier to have conversations, even if they're about sex, because then you have conversations about good practices, desires, fantasies, and sometimes even when things don't work out. Some people might suffer from performance anxiety, some people might have erectile dysfunction or any other dysfunction during encounters, right? So if you have intercourse with someone that you like, or someone that likes you, someone that has a high regard of you, and you have high regard of them, it helps in having conversation. It completely helps. And I think that's the starting point. If it's a transaction, then you should be prepared to face the consequences. You should get into a transaction if you're thinking straight that actually whatever I get out of this transaction is exactly what I'll get out of it, and stop having expectations that it will bring more than it just being a transaction.
Sure. Elvis, thank you so much, man. Thank you for joining us for this conversation. Very insightful. Elvis Munatswa is the co-founder of Urban Psychologists. He's also a psychologist himself, a sexologist. It's 5 minutes now before 12 o'clock.
Aubrey Masango.
Weekday evenings,
8 to midnight.
We are watching in real time a shift in hegemonies and concentrations of power in the world. We're literally seeing the United States being cut in half, ideologically speaking, with the very scary prospects of real violence in that country. It is a stressful time. You need to be conscious and deliberate about being kind to yourself, being kind to others. Protect your mind, protect your heart, because we've never been here before.
Aubrey Masango.
8 to midnight on 702.
702. Pneumococcal disease can strike at any time, especially if you live with a chronic condition or have weakened immunity. If you're 19 and older with a chronic disease, vaccination can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia. The risk increases for people 65 and older, and vaccination is advised to help prevent serious illness. Ask your healthcare professional about pneumococcal vaccination. Don't wait. Vaccinate. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Your workday calls for more performance, more doing the impossible, more challenge accepted. Your weekends demand more excitement, more detours, more limitless living. And the new GWM P300 LS is where it all comes together. Bring it on in the new P300 LS with a 2.4 turbo diesel and 12.3-inch touchscreen from only $5,999 per month. Visit gwm.co.za for T's and C's and to book a test drive. GWM, go with more. Brought to you by GWM Finance, a division of Westbank and Authorized Financial Services and registered credit provider.
That's the sound of your business growing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, turn your passion into profit with Capitec Business Banking. Save up to 50% on fees. Get fast credit approvals, personalized support, and Forex for your business. Open your business banking account on our app. Bank on better with Capitec, the business bank for everyone. Capitec is an authorized FSP 4669. T's and C's apply.
You're with Clement Manyathela.
702. Let's walk the talk.
All right, let's get you into the mood for later today and for the weekend, shall we?
What you doing? Really? You know I'm coming over, right? Hey, baby, tell me what you wanna do. You got an eye for me already, baby. Okay. I'll be in there about, give me 10 minutes. Be ready. Hey, wear that little thing I like. Now, baby, tell me what you wanna do.
It's 7 o'clock on the dot. I'm in my drop top, cruising the streets. Oh yeah, I got a real pretty little thing that's waiting for me. I pull up, anticipating good love. Don't keep me waiting. I got plans to put my hand in places I've never seen. Girl, you know what I mean. Let me take you to a place nice and quiet. There ain't no one there to interrupt. Ain't gotta rush. I just wanna take it nice and slow.
Now, baby, tell me what you wanna do.
See, I've been waiting for this for so long. We'll be making love until the sun comes up. Baby, I just wanna take it nice and slow.
Now, baby, tell me what you wanna do.
Now here we are, driving around town, contemplating where I'm gonna lay it down. Girl, you got me saying, my, I wish that I could pull over and get this thing started right now.
That is Usher getting you ready for the weekend. Let's get you ready now for the midday report with Mandy Wiener. How are you doing, Mandy?
Yo, I'm sorry to bring everyone back to reality.
Dampening the mood.
Oh, you sound like you're getting very comfortable there.
I was. What's happening today?
A little too comfortable.
Yeah. Ruin it for us. What's happening after the news?
Well, you can Netflix and chill.
That's a good one. And watch Tabo. What? And the Beast.
Beauty and
whatever.
the Tabo. What's it? Tabo and the
that
Beast?
One.
Something. Sorry, you just put me in the wrong mood, Clem.
You walked right into
get myself together. No, you walked right into that. Netflix gets the green light to air the Thabo Bester documentary. Lillian and Goy Street is due to reopen today, so we'll find out what's happening with that. DTIC has withdrawn draft regulations. More taxi ranks are expected to close in Cape Town due to violence. And Clem, it's Friday.
Sports and good things too. That's the midday report coming up with Mandy Wiener. Thank you for listening to a very varied Friday version of the Clement Manyathela Show. We started with hymns and we ended with Usher. We'll be back with you on Monday between 9 and 12. Have a beautiful weekend, my friends. And let's kick Stellies tomorrow in Bombela and win our 4th MTN 8. Have a beautiful weekend. Bye-bye.
This is EWN.